Welcome, episode 25, the Elite Podcast. My big brother, Kevin Tegan, the voice, Shepherd.
Going on, Mumba. You know, we hear the voice is back. Obviously, we can hear. Had a little
Yes.
problem last week, man. Being with the boys, them shouting, screaming on the basketball court. But the voice is back. You know it is. We ready to rumble.
Well, I'm glad the voice is back, man. You know, a lot of people were disappointed. They didn't hear your crystal, nice, clear voice. So whoever got you screaming and losing your voice, you got to tell them, look, the Elite Podcast need you.
Oh man.
The people's choice. The people need you. Everybody needs to get your voice. Everybody got to hear your voice. You need to be on point. Hello to everybody who win.
You're getting too good at this. I'm gonna have to leave you alone here. You and Bang, you guys are getting too good.
Hey man, I learned it from the best. I learned it from you. So that's how it is. It's just like in high school. Just like high school, it ain't changed.
You know it is. Yeah. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So, everybody welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Hail up, Rasan. Your sis, Arika, Mia, everybody else. I don't see you guys' name, but, hello to everybody. Blessings to everybody who tuning in to listen to this episode. Another episode of the Elite Podcast. So big up to all the LeBron James fans out there. You guys know how it is. So... yeah, man. So Tegan.
LeBron needs some of this now, so you can see some carrot juice.
Yeah, man. Also rest in peace to the I forget the kid name that just passed away. He was an athlete. So rest in peace. Condolences to his family. Tegan, you might know his name. You might have probably worked with him. I've probably seen him.
I had his name on my tongue. I don't know him that well, but it was a really sad situation, and for the first time, the whole of the Virgin Islands really crying out. We really need to get in touch with these youths and let them man know, you're destroying your only future. We don't know what the why is. We don't know what really going on, but we can't keep doing this because there ain't gonna be no Virgin Islands for the next generation at this rate. It's more deaths right now than the COVID. That's how bad it is. So
man,
we gotta find something to do. We can't give up on them. I ain't gonna give up on them. We must get together and we gotta find a way.
Yeah, we gotta find our way. Indeed, man. Once again, condolences to the family. Condolences to all the friends, family, everybody. Tegan, I'll go ahead and get these the shout outs out of the way. Good evening to Richie. Richie, good evening. We got legends340.com, legends340.com. This is one of the legend shirts. Loyalty. Loyalty. Yeah, so I'm representing, and I got the Jet Black. You know how it is. Jet Ebony Black. We got Savory Eats LLC, based in Orlando by Sheena Fontaine. She usually have food sales, and she do catering and a lot of different stuff. So I always go out and check her out. You could find Savory Eats on Facebook, and you can also find her on Facebook as well. We got the Good Life Apparel by Nato. Big up to Nato. Good Life Apparel by Nato. We got Andrea at the Melting Pot Cooking Class, and that's at Instagram, Melting Pot Cooking Class. Also, meltingpotcookingclass.com. We got Sabon Caribbean Restaurant. Big up to our Mitra. We got Apollo Legion. Big up to Apollo Legion.
Big up Apollo.
Big up Apollo. That's Tegan's guy. Big up.
This one is new shirt, so I want to give a big shout out to my boy Pojo. This one, yeah, nice. I can't breathe. I like it. Need another one.
All right, nice. I like it. I like that.
Why you give me this one? This one is really nice. Feels really good.
I like it. Yeah. We got Island Destiny 340, and that's our Instagram. Island Destiny 340. Serenity Braids by Nikki. Big up to Linique. We got Rico Canario. A lot of history in Virgin Islands sports. He will be coming on Sunday as well. So it's going to be a history lesson for everybody, including myself and my brothers, Tegan and Pang. So it's going to be a history lesson. And his website is www.lulu.com/spotlight/R Canario. We also have Right Way Service Station located in Princess next to Avis. So always, in that area, stop, get something to drink, fill up your car or your SUV, with some gas. We got Paris Enterprise. We also got follow on Facebook, Livewire Sports. Livewire Sports, they had a good episode last night. I tuned in. They got the the donation. Man, Lorena, she posted it in the group where you guys could go ahead and donate. Visit the page. Go ahead and donate. You know, they're doing a lot of good stuff for the youths. You know, a lot of good stuff for the youths. Also, check out the episode. My big brother Tegan, he was on the second episode. You know, so you know, you guys go ahead and check it out.
Still the most viewed. So like, what give me a call? Yeah. Without a doubt.
You the people's choice. That's what happens. You know.
I don't know what that.
Yeah, but Livewire Sports, you know, it was a great episode. You get to see all the you know the team. You know, big up to Shaq, big up to Lorena, big up to all the other members of the team. I can't remember you guys' name, but it was just good to see a face. And you guys doing a lot of good stuff. And you guys working hard and keep up the good work, man. Much love from us, you know, as well always. We got Midnight Entertainment. You know, big out to Frenchie, out in Jacksonville. They got the new single, Bring Out the City. Bring Out the City. It's on iTunes and all other major streaming platforms. So go out and support as well, too. We got Next Level Up Printing. Big up to Chico. Next Level Up Printing. We also got OlivierDesire.com. You know, some nice jewelry. Some nice jewelry. I don't wear jewelry, but you guys should go out and support, you know, OlivierDesire.com. You know, and also don't forget, follow the Elite Podcast. You know, we got our YouTube channel, VI Legends, V.I.Legends, and also the Facebook page, the Elite Podcast. And we also got the group. You know, we always live streaming all the episodes. So, you know, you guys got to support. So, Tegan, I get better at this, man. I get better at this.
Longer too, man.
Man.
Board of the Virgin Islands definitely is watching and supporting. So it's so good to see we have so many entrepreneurs. So that's really cool. Big up VI. Big things going on.
Big up VI. And we got a lot more, you know, and we'll get those information out, you know. So previous episode 24, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, legendary number 24. You laughing.
Corey. We didn't interview Kobe, that's why I laughing. We interviewed a man greater than Kobe, which is our principal, definitely our boss, and our Senator Kurt Bailey. It was one of the best episodes thus far. The whole of the Virgin Islands had an idea to see how now he's a senator, but how he connected with us in terms of being a person first, principal second, and now a senator. He was always there for us. He followed us throughout our whole career. Oh, I found your baseball card. So I'm going to hang it up, make sure I represent you. But, you know, Bailey was just special. He's a special person to us, a special person to Complex. Definitely Barra Nation. We love him to death. So ain't nothing bad you can say about Bailey when it comes to Barra Nation.
That's true, man. That's true. And he have a amazing memory, man. His memory is unbelievable. He remembers so much stuff. He described us to a T, each and every one of us. You know, you know, big up to VLA, man. He did so much for so much people, and you know, he's doing a lot more. You know, he's doing a lot of work. You know, he's a Senate. You know how the Senate is, man. They have a tough job. You know, they got a lot of stuff to do. It's a lot of stuff going on, but you know, I appreciate VLA coming on and blessing us. You know, with his presence and giving us his history, man. You know, he's such a big sports fan, and one thing he said, he used to always be at the games, and it's always good to see a principal at the games. You know. Big up to his kids, you know, big up to his wife and his family and everybody as well too. They was tuning in and watching. Lorena posted is the Giveathon. You guys see it on the screen. Giveathon. She posted the flyer in the group. So everybody who's in the Elite Podcast group, you know, you guys go take a look at it and donate something. Again, this is for the youths, like how we always talk about on our podcast as well, is giving back to the youths, and they're doing a lot of good stuff as well too. So you guys go out and donate. It could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $20, it could be $100. If you ball it like Tegan and Pan, then you guys could donate the $2,500, you know, the $5,000 and stuff like that. You know, so if you ball it like them, you know. But honestly, real talk, everybody, you guys go out and donate, support the youths them in the Virgin Islands. So go out and donate. We talk about it. They're doing something for the youth, so you guys go out and donate. You know, I appreciate everybody who donate, you know, and who's going to look forward to donate. I appreciate you guys supporting them and supporting the youths of the Virgin Islands, you know. So.
Well said, Mumba. Well said.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I tried to make it to ESPN.
I'm telling you, you get there.
No, but I joking, man. I ain't going nowhere. I stay right, chap. Yeah, man. So anyway, the moment is here. Episode 25. 25, Tiga. You know Spanish, you played professional basketball in Puerto Rico.
Only the bad ones there. Only the bad ones.
we have the legendary Dennis Brough.
Well, go ahead.
I'll go first. Legendary baseball player. I known him as a baseball player. You know, like, a lot of people know him as a baseball player and a basketball player. I didn't realize he was so good at basketball until we actually, we started this podcast and people start telling stories and stuff like that about him. I never knew he was so good at basketball. I just thought he was like a baseball player. But when, a lot of former guests mentioned he was an amazing multi-sport athlete, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, that's crazy. So and it's so important about with this platform that you get to hear stories about individuals and they were so good at other different sports and you thought it was just good at one. He played minor league baseball, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. But he's a legend. As far as me growing up playing baseball and stuff like that, I got a chance to meet a lot of legendary baseball players. Mr. George, Elmo Plastic, G-Nix. A lot of them talk about Dennis Brough. So I just can't wait to hear his story from his mouth and just how he became so legendary and so good in multiple sports. So, Tegan.
Well, like you said, I'm just gonna echo most of the things you say. We never really get an opportunity to see him play basketball, obviously, but I saw a little bit of flashes in softball because he does play softball, still in the softball lead, and he still hit the home run like water, like just a flick of the wrist. So you could definitely see the talent. So when I heard the stories that he was a baseball player, I already know he had to be good. You could see it. But he was a slam dunk champion in basketball, leading scorer, one of the toughest man from pushers. No, sir, I got to hear this story. I got to hear this. So, man, without further ado, we don't even need to be talking too much about this. Let's bring the man on. Let's hear it from the start. Commish, Dennis Brough, welcome to the Elite Podcast. Good night to you, sir.
Good night to you guys, man.
Good night.
Thank you for the introduction. And let me first say that we got to big up people like you guys. It's amazing with this type of forum that you've established. You give the athletes an opportunity to tell a story. An old man told me once, he says, if it's the truth, it's not bragging. So
I like that.
And you guys have set that platform up for people to come and tell you some of the experiences and some of the wonderful opportunities they had and the fun things they've done in their life. For me, it's no different. I'm going to start out by giving the accolades to the people who made a difference in my life growing up. As a little league, first of all, I was born and I grew up in Grove Place. Grove Place, to me, it's the best place that myself and most of my friends and families could have grown up in because, it was once upon a time one of the greatest place on planet Earth. That's how we looked at it. And we relish sports, right? Sports was amazing. Every day we come home from school, it was nothing but competition. And only the strong survive. Because I'm telling you, a lot of super athletes was born in Grove Place. It's the most amazing place to have the ability to grow up in. And I like to say, first of all, the first person that helped me in my developmental stage was Mr. Byron, Glenwood Jacko Byron. He taught everybody in my age bracket at the time. I played Little League under Mr. Byron, 11, 12. And one thing he taught us was fundamental. And one thing he always says is that, hey, if you don't have fundamental, you don't have anything. So he got us started the right way. We learned to play this game properly. And Mr. Byron is the one that really helped all of us to springboard to where we are today. The very beginning, he said that for us. And you know,
Mr. Bro, real quick, sorry to interrupt you. You might have to adjust your camera a little bit. It's kind of off. You might have to, yeah, just like that, a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, a little bit more.
All right.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So you know, he have two amazing sons, Mr. Terry Byron and Maurice Byron. So if you ever wonder how they were so great, it was through the very fundamental that they dad taught them and taught us. The second person that was instrumental in my life growing up in Grove Place was Wayne Hurley. And a lot of people, Antigua, Mumbai, you know Mr. Hurley, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that he taught us is foundation. You cannot build a house on a weak foundation. And how he did that is he drill you day in, day out. And he taught us so much. And I've seen so much great athlete come through Mr. Hurley. As a matter of fact, the name Mandingo actually came from him when I was 11 years old. And I didn't think I was that big. I thought I was a thin little kid with a little bit of talent growing up. And he said, to him, I was bigger than everyone else, stronger, faster. And he gave me that name, and it just, it never went away. So Wayne Hurley, I have to give him credit for establishing foundation for me and all the other young folks that grew up in Grove Place. This other person, I tell you, a lot of people might not know this guy, but this guy manipulated my mind. He was a scholar. We call him Teach. None of us, I can tell you, I just was a wild kid. I played the game. I was strong. I was fast. And I was a lot out of control. But this guy, Austin Williams, Jamali, they call him the Teach. And most people know him as Teach because he taught at Grove School for over 35 years. And so he saw something in me, and he said to me, you are greater than every athlete in the world. I said, I laughed. I said, really? He says, Mandingo. I said, well, my boy, you call me Mandingo. He says, you are a legend. I said, but I'm only 13 years old. Where you going with this? Anyhow, crazy. The long and short of that is he made me believe that there was no equal to me. And it took me a while before I even accepted that. But when I accepted that, not as a cocky or bossy person, but that maybe there's something here, because I was strong, I was fast. I as a matter of fact, growing up, they used to call me Jimmy because I thought I was a hoss. I loved to run. And then it transcended. It transcended in 13 to 15 basketball league when I won my first scoring title. And then I won a next scoring title. And then we went into 16 to 18, and I started winning scoring titles after scoring titles. But the thing about that is I was never a selfish player. And the players that played with me never had an issue, even though I had to have taken most of the shots, right, to be able to win these scoring titles. But in Grove Place, Mr. Wayne Hurley developed a league called the Brotherhood League. It's when we realized the talent that we had in Grove Place. We had about 8 teams, and all of them was either running brothers, jumping brothers, flying brothers, together brothers. And I averaged about 41 points in that league. And that's when we realized the kind of talent we had in Grove Place, because we had Wilhelm Richardson, we had people like Rudy Valentine, the most fun. I don't know if you guys know Rudy Valentine. This guy was the most finesse and fundamental player I ever seen. We had the likes of the Andrew brothers, and we had Bonehead, they call him, but his real name is Andrew Fleming, and all the guys that was developed in that league that year, and we had it for 2 years, showed the type of talent Grove Place had. When I went to the Man League, in my career, I won 7 scoring titles, but I didn't only win scoring title. In 7 of those years, I also won the Black Shot title because I like to play both ends of the ball. You know, I love defense, I love offense, and I always took the last shot of every game if it was on the line. And the amount of talent we had, Timan, John Finn, and all these guys, they never had a problem with that. They just knew that it was my time. And
so let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
You trying to take a shot at LeBron James or something? I'm feeling some kind of reverse psychology hitting you. You always take the last shot. What I mean?
LeBron James is one of my favorite players, but the one thing I think I differed from him is that he would more look for the open man. And I wouldn't force a shot, but I knew my coach wanted me to take the shot. And it wasn't a problem whether I made it or missed it. Luckily for me, I made it most of the time, but I didn't see an issue even if I missed. And so that's how we grew up in Grove, you know. In those.
Let me go back, because I know you're moving very fast with the story, but I have a lot of questions before you move to Man League. You're 13 to 15. You talk about you had about 20 brothers from Grove. Did you have any outside teams? And who gave you trouble? What other outside areas of St. Croix gave you trouble?
No, we okay. So when we developed that league, all the teams was from Grove Place, either Mutual Homes, Lorraine Village, but it was a Grove Place league.
About how many teams?
8 teams.
8 teams. Okay, that's a good amount.
That's a lot.
Yeah, for that area.
I tell you, it was an amazing league. That's how it was so competitive, and you know, Mr. Harley, we have to tip our hat to him. He did a wonderful thing for us growing up. Am I there still?
Yeah, you still.
Yeah,
you good?
My camera went dark. Anyhow, so that's how I became, you know, one of the top scorers around the territory. When I also played in the Central High Caribs, of course. We had 2 teams. The teams were so talented. We had 2 teams, and I just saw a clipping where both teams were 14-0 at one point. And so, yeah, and so and we played Eudorican and the Chicken Hawks. They had 1 team each, and we had a separated team. If we had ever joined force, but they were so talented. That's how Mr. Cornelius and Mr. Lockhart decided to do it. Mr. Lockhart, he had a younger team, and Mr. Cornelius, he had, you know, the older guys. But we were all in high school, you know, and that in itself was an amazing experience. When I moved on to college, I played at a junior college out in Alabama. It was Greenville, Alabama, and I took my scoring show there as well. I played at Barber Scotia College, scored a bunch of points. I also played at Florida Memorial. They actually recruited me to play there, and I had to sit out a semester. And I played in a intramural league that they had, and I averaged like 40 points in that league. I mean, unstoppable at the time. So then I was able to then move to the college team, and I have to tell this story. So there was this guy, Robert Reed. He played for the Houston Rockets in the NBA, and he had just retired. And so he used to bring teams to, you know, play the different college team. So he brought a team to players, and a lot of retired NBA players. I only knew him at the time. And so we were playing in this game, and, you know, he's fancy, he showed himself. And so the guys told me on the team, they said, bro, this man coming to your house to eat. What are you gonna do? I said, well, if you guys if you turn me loose, I'll show you. So anyhow, Robert Reed, he was 6'8", I was 6'3". We both play guard, and I had to guard him. He guard me, and so it was back and forth. He come down, he do his thing, he hit a shot. I go up, I do my thing, I hit a shot, and so we were going back and forth. And he was getting fancy because the ladies were screaming. It was rampant, and this guy was putting on a show, and I was scoring in between, and so on and so forth. So he came up this one time, and he's bouncing the ball behind his back, and he's bouncing back, and the ladies are just screaming. And one thing I can admit that I could not do, as much as I love defense and play defense well, I could not steal a ball. I just didn't have the ability to steal a basketball from a person while dribbling. But this day I said, I don't steal this ball. So when he bounced this ball behind his back, I fake to the right, and he switch it to the left, and I knock it loose. And the ball is rolling, and he's a point guard, so there's nobody behind him. So when I knock it loose, I picked it up, and I'm dribbling down the line, and I'm going to the rim. And I see him in the middle of the court, and I see him start stepping, and I say, this is going to be something special. I took off, and I cradled the ball twice. And when I dunked that ball, I hung on to the rim, and I just pointed to everybody in the stands. And let me tell you something, the dunk was so hard, people start to run.
That's crazy.
People start to scream. The art probably moved a little bit because security came in. And so I say that, and trust me, if the people who was there were some Virgin Islanders, they could tell you. But I say that to say this. That's the dunk that defeated Zorro. And up to now, Zorro can't.
Wow. Okay, double cradle.
Yeah.
Double cradle.
Oh my God, let me tell you, up to now, the mighty Zorro cannot catch himself. He said, man, I don't believe you beat me in that slam dunk competition. So the big slam dunk competition in Frederiksted, people from all over, Grove Place come, Christiansted come, Frederiksted come, the mighty Zorro, Mr. Sweeney, a high jumper at the time, the gunman, about 9 slam dunkers came. And let me tell you, Zorro put on his own show, and it was in his hometown because it was in the gym by Claudio Marco. And so Zorro dunked 2 basketball in a time when basketball, nobody really dunked 2 basketball. Zorro did a 360 and he dunked it. And so the crowd was going crazy. And I told you, when Dennis Brown came to dunk, Grove Place called and said, we're going down in Frederiksted. Because the way the rim rattled.
Wow.
Even Zorro and Al was ducking. He was like, what the hell was that?
Watch out.
Let me tell you, when I did the around the wall, man, and when I jammed the ball in backwards, I'm telling you, I see a lady run the runway. She was trying to get out the gym, but they had no door there. So she turned back and she ran the other way. I'm telling you, it was scary. It was scary. So I did a next dunk where I cuffed the ball and I racked it. Michael Jordan dunk. I enjoyed that dunk. I looked at it on TV. I mastered it. And when I put it down and I look for Zorro and I see him shaking his head, I said, I don't need to give them more, but since this is a show, it's on. Zorro, let me tell you this, buddy. You didn't know that Dennis Brown had them kind of talent. You didn't know that I could jump higher than high. But truly, what won that slam dunk contest was the power. I mean, everything was just shaking the rim. I won in Washington, D.C. I put on a show there as well. And one of the things that I was invited for was McDonald's All-American. I still get my certificate where it was
That's amazing.
considered.
That's amazing.
But I love dunking and it was a show. But and most of the times when Grove Place pushers play, they man them. You couldn't have. There was no seat there. It's standing room only, and they won a few championship. We won a few championship, and so I mean, my basketball. A lot of people didn't realize. I mean, in these times, but the people who were there, and you hear some of the stories, and I really felt great about the ability that I had in basketball. I played with the national team. At one point, we went to Mexico. I played on 2 national basketball teams, and that was an amazing opportunity. Thanks to Usi Richards and John, those guys was instrumental in selecting me, and I had an opportunity to play on the national team. So that was good experience for me as well. So I did well in basketball. It paid for college for me. Never paid $1.
Well, don't leave yet. We got a question for you. We don't want you because I want to hear more about this brother's Mandem story. Bonehead touch a nerve in Harlem the last time he been on. We want to know your view. How was those rivalry was? What went on in the game? How did you and Zoho match up in terms of was that your prime?
Yes.
You give some juice that we don't know. Remember, we are a little bit young. We really at the young side.
I don't know if Zoro remember this, but there was one time that I fake a couple of between the leg, behind the back dribble, drove through the zone, and there was Zoro when I elevated. Yeah. He may not remember, because if I was him, I would want to forget that too.
Jumping bombs!
Wow. We need the tape. We need the footage. We need the footage.
Maybe Zoro might be able to produce something and give some credibility to the story. But when I elevated, Zoro was there, but he realized that here comes the jam. Here comes the jam. Put down your hands. Here comes the man. So he didn't challenge it. He really didn't challenge it. But I mean, the rivalry was.
And people in Grove Head that dunk. Who would have challenge that?
The rivalry was good. Zoro was an unstoppable being. He was an amazing player. Bush was the one that usually guarded me until, sometimes his taller brother was the one that guarded me. But, Zoro was always nagging everybody's butt. He was an amazing player. But like I said, when Zoro them took the torch, but before they came, it was us. And while they were there, we beat them a couple of times in the championship. Unfortunately, a lot of championship didn't have an opportunity to finish because they, different disturbances caused championship to be canceled. But those were the days, and it was amazing days. They were fun days. I had the opportunity to play every place, and I had fun. Unfortunately, I got involved in baseball and was able to elevate to a high level in baseball, more so than basketball. But, that was my time, and it was worth every moment of that time. I had fun. So if
we want to bring in our other hosts. I don't even know. Will you be considered a Grovian fan or Lorrainian? How that works?
No, Lorraine is Lorraine, Grove is Grove, but it's all in the same area.
Okay. Well, welcome, Beanie.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Sorry,
Good
sorry,
night,
I'm
good
late,
night,
man.
big bro. Good night, man.
So I could take questions, or I could talk a little bit about how I got started in baseball, or we can do it however you guys.
Before you go to baseball, I'm still on basketball. I want to know how you got recruited. I want to know that McDonald experience. How did you even get on their site in terms of sending you a letter to the McDonald's? Because those are not easy things to brush over. The Virgin Islands need to understand that when you're talking about playing in a McDonald's All-American game, you're one of the best in the whole of the United States. You don't just get a piece of paper like that. So how did all of that come about?
That's true.
Well, first of all, the McDonald's All-American folks did their recruitment throughout, as you know, the United States and its territories. I was interviewed several times. My stats was sent to them. They were able to see some video clip of me. And I think it must have been a little bit of politics, because even though I played in different events in America and Puerto Rico, I never played at the level in America where all the players that was in this McDonald's All-American honorable mention list or team or consideration list played. I wasn't in that platform. But in the interview that I experienced with them, they wanted me to come and try out. And they had hundreds and thousands of people, of players. And so I had an opportunity to do some practice game, training game, or whatever you may call them. And that was a good experience. And they sent me the certificate as a McDonald's All-American, not player that played, but as a selection that they made. And I kept that certificate up to now. It was one of the greatest accomplishments, I thought, because I found out more about it after the fact. For me, it was just playing, you know.
It is. You have defeated, like you say, hundreds of thousands of people trying to get one of those certificates. I never get one. Pang, you never get one. Don't think
I got one. I got one.
And one of the things that there was a guy by the name of Dwayne Scales, the LSU, Louisiana State University, recruited me and recruited him. And he turned out to be one of the top players in the whole country. I didn't go, I didn't accept it because I wanted to go with my friends, which was Mr. Wilhelm Richardson. He got a hell of a career in basketball. We played together throughout the world. Mr. Eve Abraham. We all went to the college in Greenville, Alabama. They came here and they recruited us, and everyone said I was stupid. And at the time, it didn't mean nothing to me, you know. We didn't have that mindset. We didn't have the things that the young people have now. We didn't see the games and saw what great big college meant, you know. I didn't want to go in a place and get lost. I was intimidated, I must say, not on the basketball court, but you know, when I went and I did my recruitment and my walkthrough, it was such a huge school. For me, I didn't want to be in that type of environment. And I must give credit to Mr. Austin Williams again. He was instrumental in helping that recruitment, but I rejected the offer and I went with my friends. I didn't regret it because, you know, God knows I turned out to be successful nonetheless in the career I chose.
Very successful. You're doing very well in government. So, I mean, you shouldn't have no regret. It's just the thing that say what could have been if you had a little bit more of that knowledge, like you say. Because the opportunity definitely was there. And man, if you are doing double windmill, man, I wish I could have seen that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Double cradle. I wish I could have seen that.
And you know, the thing about Grove Place, let me just tell you this. We used to run race from the basketball court in Grove to the beach in Frederickstead through Mahogany Road every Saturday.
Wow.
By foot or bike?
Foot. And nobody stopped. Listen, nobody stopped. And one of the things that I had is I couldn't get tired. I outrun every player to every college I went. They give us 24 laps. You let us run up the bleachers, and that came about because of my upbringing in Grove Place. One of the things I used to do, me and Kenny Jackson, when we got signed, we used to run from the pool in Frederickson all the way to Sandy Point. But even before that, I used to tie a tire around my waist and start from the pool, and I would run, and the tire would full up, and I can't go no more, and I'm there pulling and dragging and pulling. Wow. And I remember at one time I saw there were two people in the bush. Never forget this day. And I saw when I was coming, because I'm making all this noise, it's just me alone, and I'm moving like a horse because I'm tired and it's just sweat, and I'm pulling, and these two people take off running. And when they saw it was me, the woman, I'm going to tell you any more about.
Because I want to know which two people did.
But when they came out and they saw me, they said, "Wow, we thought it was a horse," because I was training like a horse, and just, hey, let me tell you, that resonated, and you can't tell these youth enough. Let me tell you, my motto was, if you don't quit, you won't quit. So I just didn't stop. I didn't stop running from Grove to Frederickstead. I didn't stop running the beach. And even though at some point in my life, I thought I was going to pass out, I was going to die. But I say, if you don't quit, you won't quit. If you don't quit, you won't quit. And I never quit. I never stopped. And that helped me as an athlete.
That's an amazing mindset. Amazing.
I'm telling you. And so in training, and I have seen a lot of accident in college where people died from the heat, or they get heart attack from the training. But I train military life, and I just train myself to not feel pain, to not feel tired. I could have run all day. I mean, 50, 60, 70 pounds later, I just barely move. but back in the day, we were fast.
Did you have a workout partner? Who you used
Kenny
to work
Jackson. I used to work out with Kenny Jackson, and because he was one of the only people that I found that could have keep up with my type of training and my type of commitment, And so we used to go down and run on the beach all the time. I mean, I run from Grove to Fredericton for money. I mean, it's a foot race. And there was one guy there, Joseph Clark, Rumpy, and his son just died the other day, so I want to wish him condolences. He was the only guy I could not beat. I mean, when we reached that stretch to go to the beach in Frederickstead, this guy used to turn it up to a notch. And, but he helped me.
Sorry.
Joseph Clark, Rumpy from Grove.
No. He ain't got no Rumpy.
Yeah.
I want to know if you ever heard a man saying go run and catch a deer, because them don't believe.
Well, I never run and catch deer, but I believe I could outrun them at one point.
Yeah. Tiga, outrunning a deer and catching one is two different things, because I don't think nothing could catch me if I scared.
So I don't know this one today. So please come and tell Pan Mendes jump out a truck and catch a deer.
Mendes
was the one that catch the footage.
Oh my gosh, son.
Well, Mendes was some kind of an athlete too. He was a wild runner, but I'm telling you, that's my good partner. And he played with Vikings a few years. He used to lead out for us. And this guy only used to bunt, and you could come right in as close as you want. He's gonna bunt, and you're not gonna get him.
He's fast.
So, yeah, he is super fast.
He is fast. Mendes is fast.
He can still run. But basketball was soul, heart, and soul, man. It was something special.
come through with your baseball move. I see you itching. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Let him go ahead with your Pang. Jump in with you if you got
I
some
was
questions.
going to ask one last basketball question, and you mentioned two names, Eve Abraham and Aston Richards. Both of them used to be my teacher. Aston Williams in Grove School and
Yes.
Eve Abraham in Arthur Richards. So I remember playing against Eve in Arthur when it was students against faculty game, and this guy would not miss a jump shot from anywhere on the court. He would not miss. And I remember like Aston Williams, Coach Williams was like one of the first person that really like get me to pick up basketball. He just threw me on a lunch league team and just put together a lunch league and his mindset about the game was advanced at that time. Like, you know, he was saying things that I never heard of. You know what I mean? And other than those two names, who else coming up in Grove was like tough to deal with on a basketball court?
Well, one of the greatest players coming out of Grove Place was Ronald Charles. He is older than me, so you guys may have not heard of him, but he once
we know
Ranche, yeah. He's once scored like 50-something points in a national game. And one of my stories for Ranche, I have in a man league, we were playing and I was battling with this guy named Moses from Christiansted for a scoring title. I was averaging like 31 point something. He was averaging 31 point something. And so Ranche was coming, and you know, Ranche is a pusher. So when Ranche was coming to term, we had one game left, and Ranche had to play to qualify for the playoff. And so everybody thought that they say, bro, dead now. Ranche is here, bro, dead. Moses had played the first game, and I think he had scored like 30 points. And I needed to score about 25 to win the scoring title. And we had to let Ranche take his shots because he is the stud, you know. But the long and short of it is we both scored 30 points in that game, and I went on to win whatever scoring title I was. But one of the most significant thing, and I don't know if Donald Bow will ever remember this, but my scoring ability was really amazing. And for me, it didn't mean anything because I just wanted to play. But they had an all-star game, East-West all-star game. And some people bet some money at I wasn't going to score 26 points in the game. And for me, that's easy because it's an all-star game. We run wild. Everything is about scoring. So when the game started, Donald Bow was put on me in a backs and one. And I said, are you serious? A backs and one in an all-star game? I couldn't believe it. So, and you know, if you guys, and I know all of you know Bow, and he played defense like a beast. And I tell you, I could tell you what Bow ate 2 weeks ago because he was playing so close and he was breathing so hard. And in the first half, I didn't do good because it's an all-star game and nobody is studying Bow. Hey, this is an all-star game, bro. I saw him, so we start to. Mm-hmm. And so I had to find a way to get away from Mr. Bow in this so-called lockdown. So you know what I did? He gave me a little space, and I started to run up the court hard and run into him. Bam! Technical foul. It's okay, I got 4 more. I got to wear him down, you know. I came up again and I run into him. Bam! Technical foul. And he gave me the space I needed. And then the shot started to fall. He shouldn't forget that, but if he did, I'm reminding him that this Caballo had giddy up, you know.
We are about tough right. Too. He would like them physical stuff, so I would have it would have been great to watch.
Hey, let me tell you, those were classical. Okay, those games were classic. And I tell you, I was front and center in all of them. And, you know, the competition, we relished that. I mean, just think about it this way. In Grove Place, I mean, you leave the quote bloody at times. We had what is called, I don't know if Beanie remember this or if he was around during the time, but we had these things called cage match.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the fence was right on the line. And it was a while out and it was a brutal display of abuse. You understand? And people wanted to win. So you couldn't just take a layup. It wasn't going to happen. And you couldn't call foul. So imagine a game where everybody trying to win and there's no foul.
That's crazy.
It was brutal. But that's how we learned to go out and was fearless. And so I remember one day Mr. Lionel Stout. You guys would never remember this guy, but physically he was one of the strongest men I ever encountered in my lifetime. And even now, nobody I met was stronger than Mr. Lionel Stout. I mean, and we played a 1-on-1 and everybody bet money and the game was going to 6. And I said, this is easy, 6. I just score 50 points in a game, 6. And the money then was bet and everybody, and it was a cage match. And the people then gathered around, man. And let me tell you something. I see why it was 6. It took us an hour to make 2 points.
Hey, that's why I don't play 1-on-1, you know. All the rules, the order, man. That's why I do not play 1-on-1.
It was crazy. The ball was rolling, and for an hour we couldn't reach it because we had the ground. And this is more like a fight rather than a basketball game. Let me tell you something. I ended up winning the game 6-4. And he lost about 17 lakhs because and he was older than me, but I couldn't physically match up to him, but something tell me I can't lose this game. So, I mean, I never stayed away from every place I turn. I can't get to the basket. Where? And Grove Place gonna appreciate this because half of them was there watching that amazing, brutal matchup. And I tell you, those are the matches and those are the times that we had that made us great athletes. You know, it was crazy, but I mean, we became monsters from it. And so when we go out to play, we took the same tenacity and we had the capacity because we was already engaged in these kind of activities. So we played physical basketball at every level, physical. And that's why a lot of the games and the series ended with fights because some people just didn't think that level of basketball was real. And they couldn't take it, so it turned out some of the times, unfortunately, champion series didn't done as a result of that. But it was great times, man. We had some amazing, amazing times. So those are my little basketball fun story that I had. My career was good. I can't lift my hand anymore because I fired too much shot. The gun empty now.
That's a true score right there.
I glad I get to see because I did come into my league like in your latter part of your career. You, the Andrew brothers, even Eve was still playing. You know, and I get to see. I was a little older, and you know that's when Mandem was like really running the road. Ujima was up and coming. So I get to see Ayo play in the latter part of our career, and Ayo was still dominant. The Andrew brothers, you couldn't get no rebound in the zone with them 2 man there. You were still with your mid-range off the glass. Eve with his mid-range game, you know. but I think youth, like at that time when I was seeing Ayo play, just youth used to overcome Ayo at that point there. When I
Yeah.
get a chance to see Ayo play.
Yeah.
Who was your toughest matchup playing basketball?
I tell you, my toughest matchup was a guy named Mongo was it Mongo? He played with Mandem. He was brute force and strength. Jigger, I think they used to call him strength, and he played me just about every time. And let me tell you, it was war between me and him. But I had quickness over him. I have the ability to jump over him. But that guy was the toughest defender I have ever faced in the entire world. I mean, I remember jumping over a little white guy and dunking a ball because twice I came down and twice he took a charge from me at Barber Scotia. And so when he came and he set up to take a charge, he saw me coming. I wasn't going left, I wasn't going right, because I knew in my mind I had to do some damage here because this guy is taking away my game, which is a tremendous drive to the basket. And when he see me coming, I saw like he ducked and he closed his eyes. I completely jumped over his head and slammed the ball in the rim. Jump over him. That was one of my most amazing dunk moments. Sorry, Dora didn't watch to see what I really did when I completed my dunk in the zone against the Mandem. But that little boy had a piece of action. He thought it was it was thunder and lightning because everything rattled after that dunk.
Hey, we really need to get a Pushers and Mandem episode, my son. The stories that are coming out from this rivalry is crazy.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, they said his name was Jaga. Jaga.
Yeah, that dude, let me tell you something. He was a piece of iron, okay? He was a piece of iron. The guy was good.
How tall are you, Mr. Bro?
I'm 6'3".
Wow.
Yeah.
You had a serious vertical, man.
No,
that's amazing.
It was a lot of running, and and let me tell you, we used to practice dunking everything we had in our hand in Grove. That's one of the things we did. And I used to remember practicing taking off from the free throw line with a tennis ball, and just doing our kind of thing with little ball until we could handle the bigger balls, and that's how we became creative. Became creative, but Rudy Valentine, I don't know if you guys know Rudy Valentine. That was he should be given a lot of props for his ability to play this game. I mean, Wayne Andrews was brute force. Dave Archibald, William Richardson, we had Trevor, we had so much people. We had an amazing team. Shakuma, Glenn Williams, better known as Bolsa, he passed now, but those were defenders, those were people that, we had. Wolf, a tremendous, even the Wolf who worked with you, was amazing rebounder. And Wolf had a brother, I forgot his name, but that guy was a good all-around player underneath the basket. He was good.
Damn, with so many talented players, how I get to pick that team? Are you tryouts?
Which one?
The brothers team. Pushers.
Yeah, well, because no. And like I tell you, because of that, I attribute that to Mr. Wayne Hurley. When he did that Brotherhood League, he showed us what kind of talent we had. And as a matter of fact, the project, Mutual Home had a team. I think they were Ghetto Brothers. Lorraine had a man team. I don't know if you remember Beanie, but And the guy name was Toucan. That's Wolf brother, Toucan.
Yeah, Toucan, yeah.
But we had this amazing team out at Grove Place. It was, and everybody had the role. Everybody understood what their role was, and I mean, it just helped us to become and obtain the success that we did. You know. But
So
it was
you grew up in Mutual Home?
No, I grew up right by the basketball court in Grove Place. I was there every day. I did my homework on the court. Well, the book was closed half the time, but I mean, I could walk right across the street. The court was. I had two amazing things that helped transition my career. When I leave my mother's house, it was just a road separating the baseball field and the basketball court. So we were there every day. Every single day, I was either playing baseball or playing basketball. So, I mean, that's all we did. That's all we wanted to do, you know?
So such a great career in basketball. I'm going to jump into baseball so I don't make number feedback.
No, I got another question for basketball.
Okay, go ahead. Now you're ready with the basketball story. You hear the double windmill. Now you're excited, eh?
Wait. I'm a basketball man too, Tiga. What are you doing?
I do.
Mr. Bro, after you finished playing basketball, did anybody you see after your time playing basketball remind you of yourself? Any basketball player?
They played differently because then, like Weapon and guys like that, they played a little differently than we did because they took the game a little farther away from the basket. I kept the game close. You know, I felt the closer I am to the basket, the harder it is for me to miss. But Legend is a good one. There was, and a lot of them guys came from St. Thomas that was very, very good. Faulkner. I don't remember a lot of the names, but to have a player like me, I think we just all played different. I had the ability to score inside, outside. I didn't miss free throws. I run up and down the court all out every single time. And I'm sure people will say that there's a lot of people that mirror my skill set, but I think we were all different in our own rights. I had guys who could jump out of the gym, but they weren't great shooters. They had guys who were great shooters, but they played more away from the basket, you know? Yeah. I played in, I played out, and I ran a lot, you know? So, and I think that's why I scored so many points because I was on every break. I'm a rebounder. When I rebound the ball, I'm going down 100 miles an hour. I'm looking for two men on the wings, and I'm either dishing it there or I'm scoring. Once I decide to score, it was truly unstoppable because I came down like a runaway freight train, but I had the ability to dribble the ball, to change position, to transition quickly, and to jump. I had all those abilities, and I like to make sure that my teammates was included and they were involved. But it's hard for me to determine a player that played exactly the way I played.
We have a question from Curtis Prevost. Apologize if I mispronounced the last name. What was your experience with Derek and Dave Henderson and Elroy Baltimore from Dread Eyes from Williams Elite?
Williams Elite, when we played those guys, let me tell you, they were an amazing team. And you're talking about talent. They had a guy there named Julio. He was a big man for that team. But Baltimore, and these guys were amazing. Derek, oh my God, that guy was quick. He was fast with the ball. He could do anything with the ball. And we used to have these games with the Dread Eyes. That was amazing. They were one of the teams before Mandem that we went to the championship with over and over again. So I big up all the players on that team. They had a bad team. I never forget Dread Eyes.
Man, you just dropped some history on me. I didn't even know, because Dread Eyes came back in the latter end, and when I started doing the summer league, and I must admit Dread Eyes wasn't really that good, but now you're really showing me the history of Dread Eyes. So big up to Williams. I didn't know that.
They were good. And this guy, I think Derek, I think it was Derek. No, he had a brother. I taught him at a Richard school. I can't remember his name, but his brother always remind me that he was one that blocked a shot from me that was so loud. I didn't remember it, but I only remember the good stories.
That's how it's supposed to be.
He reminded me in the Christmas village. He said, "Bro, when you went up, I knocked your ball so hard I almost leave the gym." I said, "Wait a minute, you a storyteller too?" But he was an excellent player, man. Those were some good matchup. The Hustlers they were the top team at the time when I was coming up. And then they had a team with Danny Cornelius and Bud Hazard and Conflicts Atmo and Mr. Abraham. And these guys were not only physical, but these guys played nasty. One time I remember going to set a pick on Mr. Hazard. And I tell you, this guy he actually bust my whole jackstrap off of me. He grabbed me by the groin and he literally threw me out the way. And my jackstrap popped. So I respected them guys, and then I realized that speed, they can't keep up. But if you slow down the game, you have problems with them. But we used that was one of the baddest team as far as talent. Big men, a lot of people from the States, Mr. Bell, who was the dad of course, Bell that played in the NBA, Roger Bell. But we outrun them. They couldn't keep up. First half, they beat you like you thief something from them. Second half, they can't keep the hands off the knees. Mm-hmm. So they ain't got no more energy. But they were a good team too.
You know what's amazing listening to you? All these names that you drop in, like all these names that you're saying that was good. I remember all these man, when by the time I came around, watching the games, them in the gym, I ain't never know these men were like real good in playing basketball. And, everybody used to always like coach you a little bit, tell you, what you're doing wrong thing, but you ain't never know where it was coming from. Like they just talking from experience, But all these names you drop in, I just like, what? This man, what is this? That's what had me like a kid in a candy store right now. All these names that you drop in.
And I didn't even tell you half of them guys. The Boombi from Montbijou. I think Montbijou had a team. I can't remember the name, but they had a big guy, Boom Rakas. I should never forget that name. But Rakas and that was an amazing team too. But Ujima, I never forget Ujima. Poison, you remember Poison?
Yeah.
Those were excellent players, man. Poison was a good player for Ujima. And I enjoyed playing against all these guys, Good games. Very, very good games.
I wish I had started playing basketball a little earlier and come into Man League. Man League sound like the true NBA in them times.
In them times, it was that. And similarly like today, but more so back then, the gym was packed to capacity. All the time. And it's amazing to play in front of so many people and, put on a show for so many people. And, people we used to be the names that they talk about for years. And of course, our peers back in them days, a lot of those people has relocated, and some of them has passed on, and but they used to speak our name back then. You guys are a lot younger, except Beanie, but Beanie been around playing sports for a very long time. So, I mean, he's young still, but he knows a lot of the histories back then. But it used to be, it was some show. It was some show. I remember one time they brought a team named Running Rebels. I never forget Running Rebels. And this team was made up of some of the most amazing talent. And I remember they had a game with the Pushers. Weapon was there. A lot of excellent players was there. And Cobra, the Mad Cobra was a scoring dominant player. I don't know. He was smaller than most people, but that guy can score. I mean, he was unstoppable. I didn't know how he did it because he didn't have the size, but he was an amazing scorer. He wasn't afraid to come under the zone and do his thing. But when we played them, I remember in Central High Gym, there was all kind of bet going on because these guys was the young legs and they jump out of the gym and they slam on anybody. And I remember that game was so physical. They wasn't used to that. And when the coach told us, listen guys, we got a lot of money on this game, so guess what? All planes are grounded. Anything that take off gonna crash. And the game and these guys, that's the first time, I mean, the guys have got intimidated. We won the game, we won the money. But
I have a very good question. I'm trying to figure. Here's this question. Did you play against Mr. Pugh when I knocked out the man teeth?
No, I didn't play. I didn't play against Pugh then, but me and Mr. Pugh, and I got the article in the newspaper. We competed and for the scoring title, and I beat him. I averaged like 26 points, something points a game, and he averaged 26 points. And I still got that article. I got some, and the one article that I have that's embarrassing to me was I had won the scoring title a year, and then we were playing Ghetto Brothers, and the newspaper said Ghetto Brothers eliminated Pushers, and young phenom Tim Duncan, whole scoring champion bro, to 10 points. That one hurt me hard. I could not see the basket no matter what I do. I said, damn, I had to tell him one time, I said, listen, at least keep your hands down. I mean, you've done tall enough. But this guy
there's a good story.
And he meant that he was gonna play that defense on me all night. He says, I said, Tim, what do I know with you, man? He said, listen, that man tell me if I stop you, we gonna win. I said, okay, well, let's go for it. And the truth of the matter is the guy stopped me. I played against tall players like him, but I tell you, he had some long arms and I couldn't figure him out. I'll be honest with you. I kept that article because I told Rashidi I'm going to send it to him because Rashidi is trying to do something, put something together. And I said, Rashidi, I don't want that article anymore, so I'll let you have it. Nobody holds me to 10 points.
That's a good story.
Is that the reason why I recruit Tim Duncan? A lot of people don't know Tim Duncan was a Pushers man too.
Yeah, well, he for a short period, but he mostly played with Ghetto Brothers, and he made them a hell of a team. I mean, he made them competitive. Rudy Valentine was king of Ghetto Brothers, and when he got Tim Duncan to work with, Tim and John Finn, and there were some other guys there that played with them that were very, very good. They went on to the championship. They eliminated us out of the playoffs. So,
Tiga, you that? Tim Duncan used to play with Grove?
No, I did not. You're dropping dimes tonight, brother.
yeah, man, Tim Duncan played with Grove. He did. And, you know, everybody knew at that time that this guy had a chance.
Go ahead.
No, I said that at that moment in time, Tim Duncan was, you know, developing into a special talent. We knew he had a chance at that point, you know. So, and from there, of course,
This from our team definitely rub off because playing with our team, what?
yeah,
He had to get some of them beat up, so.
yeah, he got a lot, but one of the things he never did was he never cried because I mean he got some abuse. I mean when Tim Duncan jumped, some of the times in them games we played, he in the air and his pants on the ground. he didn't like that. But the thing about that is, you know, then don't jump because every time. The team was not just talented. The team was smart. I mean, we had one of the most intellectual player I have ever played with, and his name is, a lot of people won't know him, but his name was Stacey Ambrose. Stacey Ambrose was the dirty guy for the pushers, and Zora could tell you about him. Zora and him must have a couple tangles that they end up on the ground several times. But there was no quitting in Stacey Ambrose. He played the game like, I mean, amazing. And so, but he was very smart. He didn't have the great, he ain't gonna shoot and make 10 points. He ain't gonna touch the net self. But he is going to dish out 15 assists and steal 5-6 balls. He was like you, Benny. And he was quick. And so that made us a force to be reckoned with because the ball starts in Ambrose's hand and most of the time it ends up in my hand. But you know, he was spectacular player.
Man, we could do this all night.
Amazing, man.
But of course, we have some viewers that really want to hear about your baseball career. So it's time to transition to your double sport.
Well, okay, and let's do that. It's not as lengthy as basketball, but for me, baseball, I love basketball, and so a couple of times when the scouts came, I tried out with them at a young age, 16. And at that point in time, they wanted to sign me with Jerry Brum and Tommy Johnson and them guys, but I wasn't ready. And I grew up really naive. I'll admit that meant nothing to me, and I turned down signing twice until Mr. Harris Clark, God bless his soul, he just passed away, may he rest in peace. He actually gave up on me because he said, bro, you know, these people like you, they want you, but you look like you're in serious. And so I don't want you to be part of this tryout no more because you're wasting my time. And it didn't mean nothing to me then because I want to play basketball anyhow. So, but Harris Clark was instrumental in training all of us. As a matter of fact, when Harris Clark came to Grove, people who never come to practice running out the bushes, and all we do is walk with back because that man says Sweetwater, Harry Reach. I mean, he did this throughout the Virgin Islands, and let me tell you, we used to whack the hell out of Harry Ball. But moving forward, when I went to college and I ended up in Florida Memorial, I had to sit out from basketball. So I had gave up baseball. I had stopped after Harry. He said, man, you're serious. I stopped. So I didn't play baseball for a year and a half. So I went to this college and I had to sit out. And some guys came to me and said, man, you look big and tall and you look strong. They said, you can play baseball? I said, yeah, I played baseball before, but I ain't come here to play baseball. Like, they recruit me to play basketball. So they said, but that's okay. They said, you just tell Coach Smith that you can pitch and he gonna sign you. I said, yeah. So I had a cousin named Derek Miller, and he says, hey, I want to go try out for the baseball team. And the man said, if we go out and say we don't pitch, they're gonna give me money and put me on the team. So I said, okay. I said, but me and Mark with no spikes and no glove. He said, that's all right, let me go. He said, you get any money? I said, I got $20. He said, you got $20? I said, yeah. He said, okay, let me go downtown. We went to a place named Barker's. I remember, I don't know if I might be too young to remember Barker's in St. Croix, but we went to Barker's and I bought a glove for $8.99. I'll never forget that. And the spikes was for 11 something. So my $20 got me a glove and a spikes. And I went to play. And so I'm on the sideline, you know, because me ain't playing no baseball. I just gone for the money. So I know I could throw a baseball hard, but I can't tell you where it's going. But I can throw the baseball really hard, no control. So I'm on this team. I make this team happy. I hoping I don't ever pitch, you know. So anyway, this one day, Coach Smith says to the pitchers, come hit, man. I want all you pitchers to come hit. So when it was my time to hit, let me tell you something. I start launching ball out the park. He said, what? He said, no. He said, come. He says, you are never pitching in this team again. Right field belongs to you, and you're going to hit fourth in my lineup. I said, okay, I mean, I ain't come to this. So I said, but Coach Smith, I got a problem, you know. He said, what's the problem? I said, I ain't gonna, this spikes is $11, you know, and this glove is a red glove too, a red glove. He said, no, come, I'm gonna take you downtown. He bought me a glove and a spikes, and I played right field and bat fourth in that team, and the scouts was coming left and right. So when I came home after that semester, and Elmo Plaskett came to look for me in Grove, and he said, listen, the Yankees saw you in college and they said that they want to see you and they want to see if, you know, they want you to try out. He said, but we got one problem. I said, what's the problem? He said, you're not coming St. Croix, you gotta go Puerto Rico. I said, okay, ain't no problem. So we went to Puerto Rico, me and Elmo Plaskett, and all these Puerto Ricans was there, about 100 of them. I said, what? Elmo, there's a lot of people. How they gonna see me with all these people? He said, don't worry, bro. So when it was my time to hit, man, I tell you, they gave me 20 balls and I launched about 14 out the park.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And from right field, I threw the ball well, and I ran about a 6'7", 60. And right away, Fred Ferreira, never forget him. He is a recruiter, the scout that came. He says, we want to sign him now. So Elmo tell him, we'll make an offer. And he did make an offer, and Elmo tell him, no, that's too low. He says, well, let's talk some more. Elmo said, wait, we going and we coming back. I said, Elmo, we going? He said, yeah, we going. He said, where we going? He said, we going Santo Domingo. I said, Santo Domingo? He said, yes, I just got a call from the Cubs, and they want you to come to Santo Domingo. I said, wow, okay, Santo Domingo, fine. We went to Santo Domingo. Elmo put me in a school, and he's walking out, and I say, hey, why are you pulling your bag and leaving? he says, bro, I got to go back to St. Croix. I said, you leaving me here? He said, yes, I'm going to be back. I said, Mo, I don't know these people here. He said, that's okay. They're going to take care of you. So I'm in this school for this week, my son and I. We playing eat, sleep, drink baseball. I'm with about party guys. I don't know none of them, obviously. And the Cubs then said, "Oh, we want to offer him." When Elmo come back, he said, "Them boy want to sign you, no?" And they offered 3 times what the Yankees were paying. But we have one thing they want you to do. I said, "What?" He said, "They want you to stay in Santo Domingo and play for a year in the professional league." At that point in time, poverty then was so rampant, children begging. They want to carry your shoes, they want to carry your bag, they want anything for $1, for a dime, for a nickel. And for me, back in them days, it was a problem. I wasn't used to that. So I tell Elmo, I said, "Listen, I cannot stay here, I can't stay here." So he says, "Well, the Yankees call back and they offer you the double the offer." I said, "Take it." He took it, and off we were to the Rookie Ball League. I had a wonderful. I played about 4.5 years. I had a great little time. I won a championship in 1987, I believe it was, when I played in the Florida State League. And we had an amazing, amazing team. And we had a catcher by the name of Jim Leyritz. He played in the major league with the San Diego Padres and other people. We had Kevin Moss was the first baseman, another major league player. Andy Stankiewicz was the second baseman, another major league player. We had a guy named Tim Becker, playing short. Hensley Mullins was third base, major leaguer. In left field was Oscar Soka. He won the batting title that year, major leaguer. Center field was a guy named Turner Ward, major leaguer. And I, Dennis Brown, was the right fielder. And one of the things that happened is Bernie Williams, who turned out to be one of the greatest legends in Puerto Rico, had to be sent down because he could not play on that team. And that team was so amazing. Wow. Yeah, Bernie Williams.
Wow.
And he was my roommate. He was my roommate for 2 years. And they had to send him down because he was a young, up-and-coming guy. He couldn't play in that league. And that team, we dominated the whole league. We won the championship. And the next year, me and Bonnie hooked up again. We were roommates again in Virginia. And Prince Williams was the team for the Yankees. It was a Carolina League. And he ended up winning the batting title in that league. And so, after that, the rest of the story for him. So I baseball, again, came important to me when I realized how good I was still. And, I had I met a lot of wonderful people. But the one thing that stood out for me in my career, I remember in 1987, after that league, the Yankees selected 24 future stars, the best players in their organization, and they call what is called extended spring or something they call it. And of the 24 people, I was selected as one of the best players in the organization. And I tell you, 23 of that 24 players made it to the major league. I was the only one that never made it. I don't know if it was luck or it was just talent. But they felt strong enough for me to put me on the elite team where they brought down all the trainers, and it was a hell of an experience. I left there and I played in Puerto Rico Professional Winter League for 2 years. I played with a team named Arecibo Lobos. And that team, I had an opportunity to play with Candy Maldonado and Jose Oquendo. Those guys embraced me and, taught me so much. Jerry Brown was playing with Santurce that year. So I had 2 solid years in Puerto Rico playing baseball. And, then it was just St. Croix after that, obviously. And then we created a dynasty of a team named the Vikings. I took over. As a player, I had great history. Mumba was one of the phenom and upcoming young studs Then he was like a 90 plus miles an hour flamethrower, but he was so talented and so amazing. And we knew that Mumba was going to be something special. When you talk about talent, he could run. Of course, we know his height, he's tall. He had an amazing, amazing arm. He could hit, and he had so much talent. And they had a young team named, what was that young team you guys had with you and all the young top guys out of Frederickstead, Roach, and so much of young guys was on that team. I think Kenny Milligan was on that team.
Yeah, Kenny
Neg was on the team. Neg played with you,
Neg,
right?
Neg was on that team. Riedel Robinson. I mean, just an amazing team. But I took over. I was a player with Vikings, and then I took over managing Vikings in '94. And immediately we set a record by winning 6 consecutive championships. And since then, we've won 17. You see my hat there, number 24. This is for the 24th championship we had. This shirt that I gave my guys last year,
amazing.
Each star and this shirt represent the year that we won the championship. And we had, you talk about pushers and the lineup pushers had, but the lineup Vikings had, I mean, one year we had a team where it was led out by Cannon King. He was our second baseman. Antonio Watts. This was a guy who was supposed to sign to play baseball with me. One of the best shortstop I have ever seen in my life, anywhere in the entire world. Antonio Watts. Midre Cummins was third, Kenny Jackson, myself, Dennis Brown, Justino Navarro, Jose Rivera, Maurice Byron, Eddie Williams, Terry Byron. I mean, that team was unbelievable.
Yeah, was
we
crazy.
went 24-1 that year, and we won the championship, obviously. But throughout the Vikings dynasty, we had, and I can't name them all, they're going to cost me for not mentioning them, but I'd like to mention.
Yeah, check real quick. The team from West was Basics, remember?
Yeah,
Basics.
basics, yeah. Genix,
Yes.
Okay.
So I got to call some names, but I'm going to forget a lot. We had Mario Christian. I mean, he was such an amazing, amazing guy. He pitched for us. He catch for us. He did everything for us. Odingo, Ray Mendez, Stefan Walwin, Mark Franklin. I don't know if you guys know Mark Franklin, but that is a clutch hitter, an amazing clutch hitter. Warren Brooks, I mean, super guy. Jamoy Williams, Percival Edwards. He used to play center field back in the days. I mean, he looked like the most awkward player, but he never dropped the ball. We had Derek Miller, Paul Clark, Richard White, Charles Albert Joseph, David Clark Jr., Carlos Morales. And I mean, if I forget anybody, I'm so sorry. The legendary Colin Williams and his brother Marquise Flavius. I mean, my 3 sons played, DeMar, Daniil, and Dennis Jr., all played with the Vikings dynasty. And, you know, what can I say? These guys are humble, but they're great. So baseball in St. Croix was very competitive as well, just like basketball. And some of the greatest competition came from, you had the Reds, the Yankees, the Saints, the A's. But Vikings is a special unit. These guys, I mean, I can't say enough about them. They're amazing. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention to you Mr. Arthur Kanai. Let me tell you something about Arthur Kanai. Any of you know Arthur Kanai?
Yeah, that's my little league teammate, man.
Let me tell you something. This guy, you would love to play on a team with him. He have heart, you know. He have tenacity. Tenacity to me is when you just bring it on and you have the ability to be flexible and to do wonderful things to help your team win. He had capacity because he could pitch, he could run, he could hit, and he is a person that I mentor. He's going to transition to be the leader of the Vikings. He's going to take over Vikings one day. He's groomed, he's trained for it. But not only that, he's an amazing guy. And let me tell you, this guy is going to be successful. He can do anything he wants to do. And I like to talk about a team that means a lot to me in my baseball career. Right now, I'm president of the Baseball Federation for the Virgin Islands. And we have a junior national team. And my coach, my manager is Kenny Jackson. Quadro Brannigan is an amazing coach. And Machin Encarnacion. When we start taking this team to the Dominican Republic to play in the Diamond Baseball Classic, this guy, a good friend of mine, said to me, he says, listen, this is a tough classic. You guys may not have the talent to compete. Well, we lost the first couple of years. And this team that we have, this national junior team, won 4 championships out of 8 years. They said we can't go to Santo Domingo and win. People from here said that I could never win in Santo Domingo. They played the best. America sent 8 teams, and these guys defeated them all. And that's to tell you the talent we have in this Virgin Islands. Okay?
Amazing. I just got that. Yeah. And you know what, something, not to stop your story, you know what's so funny that you say, even with us with basketball, I think that's one of the things that give us the edge when we go and play, because every time we leave St. Croix, we always get that little hating edge. Oh, when I go and play Puerto Rico, I go get an ass bust. We just never get that kind of VI pride. I don't know if it's in our blood or what, but man, we just go over there and bust ass. And what you saying is just recognizing that, look, I never really think all people understand the true talent we have in the Virgin Islands, but it's crazy. It's crazy. So I just got, because you give me goosebumps. Man, how can we preserve this? We need these things. We're doing it here on the internet, but we definitely need something in terms of a museum to preserve these type of history.
Well, it's coming, and I am on a committee to help develop the museum for sports in the territory.
Computer, real quick.
And so that's coming. But you know, when we went down to Santo Domingo, this young guy just got himself in problem. Augustus Martin, he put on such a show against the American team where he pitched a no-hitter.
Wow.
And that year we win the championship. Augustus Martin, again, last year, I took the national team to play in the Caribbean Classic. This is against all the other countries, Venezuela, Curacao, Aruba, of course, Santo Domingo, Jamaica was there. And again, Augustus Martin beat the I think it was the Aruban team. I think it was 4-2 or something like that. And this was just in December. And unfortunately, he got himself caught up. But I talk about him because he's a talent. And we paved the road for him to be successful. As a matter of fact, he had just received a scholarship. When we came back, I took him home and I said to him, I said, listen, you're leaving in January. We came back like December the 12th or something like that. I said, you're leaving in January, and I want you to understand that this is your final chance to be special, to do something different. It was unfortunate what happened, but I speak about him because he was one of the guys in that pitch in some of the biggest games. He had the biggest heart, and you know, we lost him. Not fully. I mean, I don't know the situation, but you know, it's sad when you see our young people getting caught up in stuff that shouldn't be caught up in. I try to talk to all the young sport athletes. That's why I took a position where I can connect to them and I could communicate with them And I want to thank Mr. Encarnacion Machin, because he used psychology, and he always talked to them. Mr. Raphael Kenny Jackson is an amazing leader. His son, of course, is in the States doing wonderful things. We got a lot of athletes out there that are doing wonderful things. A lot of baseball players that are going to be signed shortly. And so I just want to big them all up. And again, you guys are amazing. I mean, whoever the listening audience are tonight, and whoever learned things from me that they never heard before, don't big me up. Big this team up that has given us an opportunity to present our knowledge, our wisdom. We had fun. Tegan, of course, Mr. Rivera, Mumba, Superstar, Benny. I got to thank you guys, and I hope everybody understands that what you guys are doing has to resonate into one of the most amazing things that we have going on here in this territory, by giving people an opportunity to come here and not only tell the story, but share experience and have fun at the same time. You know, people don't know what we did back in the days as athletes, because it happened so long ago. And, you know, a lot of people tonight can say, wow, Brown used to be all of that. Brown, and then he said, look like he used to do them things or could have done them things. And you know what? I never had an opportunity to talk about it, you know? And this is just one of the greatest opportunities that I've ever had, to be able to present to the community and to you guys some of my experiences and some of the things that we want to do for the young people. I've always been tuned in. That's why I tease Zoro so much. But you guys keep up the good work, man. Don't let anybody stop this flow. Anything that you guys need or want that I can help with, do not hesitate, because this show must go on. This is one of the best things that we have going for us, for our young people, for all the athletes to come and share their life and share the story. And like I said, the old man said, people might say, man, bro, talk a lot of mess tonight. If it's the truth,
Yeah.
it's not bragging.
I love that saying. I like that one, brother.
You guys
I
are
love
amazing.
it.
Thank you.
The next time you come, I gotta tell you who them two people been in the bush on the beach. You gotta tell me who them two people been in the bush.
Listen, it was actually two white people, and I know they were doing, when they come out, they didn't have anything on. But it's to show you the type of training that I was doing that day. I didn't even pay them no mind. All the lady says, honey, I thought it was a horse. Yeah, it was a caballo. It was a caballo. It was a galloping brown.
That's what.
It was fun, man.
Hey, Mr. Brown, George Bailey said he loved facing Vikings.
Well, let me tell you something about George Bailey. Nobody can hit a baseball harder than George Bailey. Nobody. I have seen George Bailey hit balls that people react when the ball is in the outfield. And let me tell you something. He was one that I always had fear of when he came to bat. You know why? Because I could tell you one thing about Mr. Bailey. He is going to hit the ball hard, okay? And he did it at least 90% of the time. I had the opportunity to take Bailey on trips. He played, and I think Bailey played on the national team in not Mexico, where it was Venezuela. I believe he was there with us. That was my last really big hurrah as a player. We went down there with a national team, a young super team. I believe we had a chance to win. We were in a game where we were leading 7-3 against Panama, who ended up playing in the championship against Cuba. And Makil Rajas was dealing. And in the game got to the 7th inning and McKee was leading 7-3. And I said to myself, we got this. The team was so amazing. I was the first baseman. At that time, we had Leroy, Junie Simmons. We had, Ellington Maynard. We had Justino Navarro, Kenny Jackson. We had an amazing team, man. And we lost that game 8-7. And, of course, after that, we had to play Cuba. That wasn't an easy game for us. We played Puerto Rico. We had the toughest division, but if we had beaten Panama, we would have had the bye. We'd have had the next day off. We'd have had a bye, and we would have had to be able to regroup. And we had a phenom by the name of Terry Byron, and he was throwing the ball 96 miles an hour. And everybody wanted to know, who is Terry Byron. Well, I tell you, if we had won that game against Panama, Cuba would have learned who Terry Byron was. Because this guy was amazing talent. But George Bailey, boy, thank God I don't have to deal with you. It's like watching down the barrel of a gun when Mr. Bailey is hitting.
So that is true, my son.
Yeah, he hit the ball.
He prepared everybody. I have a question. You ever thought about? I don't know how it will walk. You have like you said, you played in the Puerto Rico Winter League. And like the champions in Puerto Rico, champion in the DR, champion in Mexico and Venezuela. They are playing the championship, the Caribbean Winter League Championship. You ever thought about probably trying to have a team from the Virgin Islands? I'm not sure how it will walk, but have a team represent the Virgin Islands in that, in that championship series?
Well, okay, so we have considered that. We're not going to be able to play because we don't have a sanctioned league. It's a professional league, and players have to be paid to be considered a winter league. And what happened with these leagues, major league team sends, because each of these Puerto Rico team can have, I think, 4 outside players. Mm-hmm. And so when they bring in outside players, they bring in the best from each organization. And you gotta pay them. You gotta pay them decent. When I played, they had to pay me. I was able to play as a native to Puerto Rico because we were considered native at the time. So for me, I was given an opportunity, but it wouldn't work unless we decide we want to play them exhibition games. They are always open to that, but funding is an issue. There's not enough business capacity here to be able to pay players, but it would have been a great, wonderful thing if that could happen,
That would be awesome.
Let me get this one.
Just a quick question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
This from your boy Kenny. He asking, could you describe your favorite championship in local baseball?
Wow, I participated in so much of them. Favorite? Wow, that's a tough one. I have to believe that my favorite would have been in 1994 when we beat the A's. A's had a super team. Real Saki was one of the most. Real Saki was a super talent. He hit for power. He could run. He could do anything. And A's had one of the most amazing teams. That was the biggest. All the talented guys from Frederiksted was with the A's, and I tell you, that matchup brought people from every single place. And that year, we ended up beating them relatively easy, but A's have always put a whooping on us year after year, time after time, until 1994. When the Vikings dynasty really took off, and I think 94, the beginning of my time as a manager, has to be As a player, I won 20 championships, but as a manager, not 19. As a manager in 94 to now, I was able to play and manage, and we won over 17 since my tenure as manager, and I'm still managing to date. This is the first year we were not able to run the league. Of course, this fields shut down because of what we're facing and dealing with. But 94 have to be the year.
94. Has any discussions ever happened about having the Virgin have a team represent the territory in the World Baseball Classic?
Yes, and there's steps for us to get there. In December, I just got a message from COPABE, which is the Pan American or Latin Caribbean organization, that canceled our tournament to play in Lima, Peru. That tournament would have qualified us to play. So it's a bunch of qualifiers, especially for small island like us. Right now in the world, we are ranked number 71. There's a couple of countries ahead of us that I don't think should be ahead of us, like Aruba, because we've beaten them several times. Curaçao always give us a hard time, but we beat them the last couple of times. And I think when the new ranking come out, we should be lower. But it all happens based on those qualifiers and whether or not you can make the ranking in the world baseball arena.
Okay.
But we get in there because our players are more talented. Here is one of the things that I have an issue with, and I can't blame it on the players, but I can blame it on the commitment of us as Virgin Islanders. One of the things that you find in Panama, Venezuela, not necessarily Puerto Rico, I don't know about Puerto Rico, but Santo Domingo and all those other countries, is no matter where their players are, they go back home to defend and to represent.
That's right.
When it comes to the Virgin Islands, and I reach out to the top pitchers that we have out there, they're under this limited pitching program. They can't pitch for 2 months. They can't do this, they can't do that. You think you could tell a Dominican Republic country that they can't get their best players playing? They don't. That's unacceptable.
That's true.
In the Virgin Islands, and I'm not blaming our guys because I don't want them to lose opportunities. They sign a contract and they abide by whatever the contract, material contains. So they abide, and I respect that. But why can't we as a Virgin Islands say, I am representing the Virgin Islands in spite of whatever? We will make a more formidable, competitive organization if we get the best talent that we have out there. And so I know that we ranked 71, but imagine if we were supposed to get all the people that really can make a difference playing with us. I think we'll be able to play in the World Baseball Tournament one day. But that has to change. Okay? It has to change. We can't just do it with local. We have to do it with the best talent that we have from the Virgin Islands, in spite of where they are.
I agree. I think that's one of the beauties of basketball in the national team. Pang, that's
Exactly.
your
No.
Okay, I was getting that feedback, but that's the beauty about basketball. We even though we did back then had a group of local talent, which was the core, we were still able to get some of the best who played in the States, and that's why we was on a rise. The highest we reached was 23rd in the world, right, Pam? Which was actually pretty damn high for the U.S.
Right.
Virgin Islands.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
and we in the toughest region, period. You know what I'm saying? With USA, Argentina, Canada, Brazil, Puerto Rico, YAR, Cuba. For Virgin Islands to even be in anywhere close to those type of teams, it's crazy the type of talent we had. So you need the top.
I can tell you that you guys, the basketball world, have caught the attention of the basketball world because it's amazing of the accomplishments that you guys have. And you compete with every team in the world. They don't just blow you out. You in every game and have an opportunity to win every chance you play. So I am proud of
included DR and Puerto Rico and Canada, Argentina beat we by 1, and they had Ginobili and stuff like that. The only country really put it on us was USA. No fault to them, they put it on everybody.
Right.
That's LeBron James and everybody else. But everybody, Brazil, everybody, we had everybody respect.
Yes. And I had an opportunity to see you guys play out there when I would travel to see some of these tournaments as president. And when Calvert White and all these guys that used to be top players, Tegan, I didn't have a chance to see you play on the national level, but I know you were there. I read about you. I saw the amazing things that you did. But I had a chance to see some of the other guys when I was fortunate enough to travel to these games, you know. But we no slouch out there in the world. We absolutely are no slouch.
That's right. What do you think why the Virgin Islands don't really grasp that as a whole? I think it's because our lack of history in terms of preserving it. Like you said, if we'd had some tapes with some of the stories you told today, man, you probably couldn't walk St. Croix because people would have been like, dude, that's the dude that did the double windmill. That's the with Tom and Zorro. You dropped some bombs tonight.
Yeah, well, them boys need to hold that though, because I get some. I take some, and I'll let them tell their story, but I'm telling my story and what I deliver. Don't think I receive stuff now.
I feel, but just
I can't big up the next guy. Let him big up himself. This if it's truth, it's not bragging.
That's right. I love that one, and I like the next thing you said. I got to tease that from you. The one you said, if don't give up or quitting when you were running.
If you don't stop, you won't stop.
I love that.
You know, if you don't stop, you won't stop, and that resonated throughout my career. But let me just tell you, I believe, and I don't like to engage in politics. It's something I try to stay away from. But I think that as a Virgin Islands, we do not embrace the sports tourism. I know we're trying to do something with it now, and I know we're trying to move it forward. But I've had the opportunity to go to all these other countries, and sports is one of the number one thing for them. They promote it, they embrace it, they invest in it, they do everything. They send the people them all over to learn, and they put the money where the mouth is. And one of the things that it resonates into, it transitions into capital, because when you bring people to your territory and they stay in your hotel room, they eat your food, and and people might say, well, bro, that ain't enough. It has to start somewhere.
That's
you
right.
Understand? And until we show our love and our respect for our athletes, the one that goes out there and make the Virgin Islands somebody, something, until we show that, we will never get to the level of those other countries. And the little bit of money that we may have, we could transition it into bigger things. We can make things happen here. We have too much talented people that pass through this place, and we didn't show them the love and the respect and the appreciation. A guy told me one time the other day, he said, you know, per capita, we have the most professional athletes. I said, well, I don't know that for a fact.
That's true.
But I can tell you, it's a small place, And we could list 100, 200, 300 people that played professionally. And when you take 300 and you divide it by 100,000 or 120,000 and you see the percentage, and you go to New York or you go to LA or you go to any of those places that have millions of people, and you take the amount of people that they sign and you divide it by that large number, and you see the percentage, you will know what we're producing here.
That's
But we
facts.
don't do that.
That is so
We don't
true.
do that, and that's what we're missing. And so somebody, including myself and all of us who care, have to make a difference. We have to change something.
Now,
Okay?
this is one of the reasons why this forum right here is so great, because once Mumba, and I gotta give Mumba credit, he don't like the credit, but he's the one who came up with the idea, and I told him, look, man, I'm in, because the Virgin Islands have so much talent, not just in basketball, in baseball, in track and field, in so many different sports, boxing. I mean, rest in peace, Harry just died the other day, and we didn't even really do anything for him. I mean, nothing can hurt my heart, man. I mean,
That can't happen in other countries. Cannot
Puerto Rico
happen
did
in
something
that
for him.
country.
Like, Jesus Christ, come on, Virgin Islands.
Somebody got to step up, and that's why we just developed this sport commission. I have to thank the governor for, the initiative. He named me as one of the members. I intend to go there to work because I see the shortcomings, and so it's not too late for us to start now. But we can't start and stop, So when my time has passed and I pass this on, I want somebody to pick up where I left off. But I can't go there and not do anything and not be productive, or else I'm wasting people's time, And so I would challenge everybody on the sports commission to, it's not just a for sure nomination. You're here to work, and we got to work, because these things have to become passionate to us. It's the only way we're going to move forward. We can compete in the world, but we got to build a foundation. We got to build a foundation so we could elevate.
So hopefully in the future we'll get a member from the board, and he can tell us about some of you guys' plans and what you guys are doing, so that the public will get an idea where you guys trying to take the vision of sports.
Yeah, it has to be organized, and I think we get a talent on the board to make it happen. And so I would have to give us an opportunity to make a difference. But this is a start, Sports tourism have to become a unique tool that we can market, and hopefully take it to some place.
That's true.
We also need the support of the people, because we can't do nothing without the support of the people.
I agree.
True. That's true, Punk.
And the young people need something to look up to, and they need people like us to become their role model, because the things that they're seeing is what they're adapting to and that they're holding on to. So their role model now is the guys with the baddest name out there. That's who they want to be around. So we have to stop that, because that's a poison that's growing in our community. And if we don't create better role models for our young people, they are all going to go to the baddest man on the street. Now, no disrespect, but I'm saying happening out there. Yeah. And we have to provide them with some kind of guidance and leadership, and allow them to have something tangible that they can resonate to and say, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be like that. Or else the street is what is going to always rule.
Yep.
And
I mean, just last year before COVID, I was coaching in basketball, and I said, "Where you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "You want to be the next El Chapo." I said, "What?" This man tell me, I said, "I swear to God, fam, I'm not making a joke."
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy, because just like Kameer said, is what they see on TV. They got El Chapo Jr. the song, so that's this is what they gravitate into, and until they find someone who they respect. As first, these generation gotta realize that you care about them before they open up. If they think you're coming around with a suit and tie, they ain't listening. But once they know you generally care, they definitely will listen to you. They can still go and do what they have to, but at least they will listen. And that's the key. We just need more people, just like Commish, just like we on the panel. We need a lot more of this. And we can't be afraid of the next generation. We got to go out there and talk to these dudes.
No. And that's why this show that you guys have developed is so critical. Because, I mean, it might be small. We might reach small numbers, but it adds up. You understand? And if each one can reach one, your contribution ain't have to be huge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But collectively, when you put those numbers together, it can make a huge difference.
Right, it's true.
You know, and we can't stop, and we can't give up. You know, we can't. If we give up now, we just giving up the whole place, because you see, it's coming closer and closer.
You dropping some quotes tonight there about the thief. I hope you don't mind. Each one, reach one. I love that.
One, yeah, I like
it was
that.
always each one teach one, Mumba, right? But now it's each one reach one.
Each one. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
You know, these is things that we you know, we can't lose. We can't lose it, man. This battle is everlasting, and you know, we can't get tired. We can't put on our dukes. We gotta just keep fighting for the right of the people to be safe, to grow, to enjoy life, and to not be paranoid every place they go. I mean, that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but you know, it's real. It's real.
You know, for the first time, we really getting a pulse of the Virgin Islands as a whole. That something has to be done. You know, because we can't live like this. And first of all, we can't be losing the next generation in terms of Virgin Islands young men who's supposed to be taking over the territory when we got. I mean, like you say, you up there. We might be young, but man, I'm 41. Number 39. We right behind the bus. I mean, after a couple of years, nobody can remember who I be. So I'm trying to reach as much people as possible now.
Right. And it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and while you have the energy, you got to put your good foot forward and keep pushing on. But this is an excellent program, and you guys, I mean, all of the Virgin Islands need to support you financially if you need it. We cannot let this ball drop. And I heard you, Mumba, thanking and naming out the sponsors, lots of sponsors. I didn't hear a lot of people that I believe should be on that list. And so I am going to reach out to those people, because they're going to have to participate. Okay? You may not know them, but like I said, we have to reach out. I know a lot of them, and we're going to reach out. So we're going to speak offline, because I don't know how it could get better. This is a wonderful program, but everything that we do costs something, and funding is what is needed to develop growth. And so I am going to reach out to these guys to help you if you have needs, because this is where we're going. This is what we need.
Love it. I gotta give a big shout out to my boss, my beautiful assistant commissioner, Renee Hansen. She's been sending messages like crazy. I'm ain't asking none of them.
What do you mean? I ask everything. I post all her comments.
No, I can see Rene's name on my phone, but I can't see it on the computer.
No, it's not coming up. Yeah, it's not coming up. It says Facebook user. Why post it?
Let me tell you something about Renee Hansen and her son, Romani. He grew too big to play baseball now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a Vikings, and I appreciated him so much. I took Romani with me twice to the Dominican Republic, and Romani was like the clown of the team. I mean, he had so much fun. This guy sleeps all day. And I told Romani, I said, hey, yo, the bus moving 5 o'clock. You gotta get up. You gotta get going. Romani said, okay. when we look for Romani, everybody gone. Romani's still in the room sleeping. It must be the food you're giving this kid. Well, I see where the food went now. Renee is my sister. She was a sorority sister. Brothers and sisters, and she's special, and But I always say to her, "What are you giving that dude to eat? All he does is sleep all day." But as you see, he's transitioning into a real athlete, and
Yes.
I understand he just signed a professional basketball contract. These are things that we need to promote as well. He is a grassroots right here. We signed as a toddler, and we watch him as he grew up, and he played multiple sports, and now he's an amazing talent, and hopefully he'll do things to put Virgin Islands on the map as well.
And I had a sharp ability to work with him since he came back. And I told him, and I hope he's listening, because I pointed out there for the whole Virgin Islands, he has NBA talent. I've played many NBA players. He has NBA talent. He has the size. He's 6'8". He can shoot. He can run. He's long. The sky's the limit. You just got to believe in yourself, get your opportunity. And just like you said, if you don't stop, I like that saying, I can't finish it. Finish it for me, oh God.
You won't stop. You don't stop, you won't stop. So you got to tell yourself, you can't get tired.
Yeah.
You only tired when you say you're tired.
That's
if
right.
you don't say you're tired, you'll never be tired. You need to understand this body is made up of amazing electricity that once you allow your body and your brain to work together, you get a tandem there that can reach to the sky and back. So you got to keep going. You gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going. I got a question for you that someone asked a while ago. So I want to get to it. I promise this person was gonna ask it. Have you ever wanted to or been offered or considered a job as a hitting coach or a manager in the majors or minor leagues?
I have a friend. His name is Bamba Mullins. He is my son's godfather. We played together in rookie ball. We played together and won a championship in the Florida State League. And he is the hitting coach for the San Francisco Giants. And when he was getting a job, he reached out to me to be his assistant. And I couldn't do it at the time because my life and career was shifting gears and going in other direction. He reached out to me about 2 years later and said that he knew a friend of his in San Diego with the Padres, and there's a job opening coming up, and if I wanted him to recommend me for the job. And I wish I could say yes, but my vision was different. I think I could do more in the Virgin Islands. I wanted to be able to give back everything that I ever had, everything that was ever given to me to these youths. And I have a youth development club by the name Vikings Youth Development Club, and we used to take youths to the different colleges. I've taken like 15 youths to Las Vegas, and I obviously ended up going there as well and getting a degree in gaming. But I took 15 youths to Las Vegas. We did a tour of all the colleges, and it was a wonderful opportunity. I took about 15 more youths to Orlando. We took them to Atlanta. Kenny Jackson was there. Kenny Milligan was there. Arthur Kanai is always there with us. These are the things that I prefer to do for our young people. And if I can't help them by being a batting coach for a major league team, I don't think it's beneficial to me, because maybe there might have been opportunities for me to help and allow people to transition there, but I think I've done more here without relocating.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
man.
man.
Says a lot
That's
about
beautiful.
you that you
That's
have for
beautiful.
the Virgin Islands.
That's it. I will never leave these Virgin Islands for another place. I will never stop trying to assist and to help. And my commitment is for the Virgin Islands and no other place. I will not leave this place. Not under these circumstances. We all who are considered leaders have to lead, have to support, have to promote, have to do everything in our powers. This is the all-out fighting, and we cannot linger. We can't get tired in this fight because these youths need our help. The people of the Virgin Islands need our help. Whatever we can do to assist people, to help people, to give to people, that's what we do. And that's my heart. So I feel if I leave here, a big piece of what I have contributed is gonna go with me, and I leave it here. I am dying right here. I ain't going no place else.
And all of that sounds good. I love the talk.
Yeah.
Love the talk. We need more people like you involved. We have a lot, and you can't do things that you said this tonight. It has to be in you. You just have to be born that way. But you said something. We need leaders. Our leaders need followers. You know what I'm saying? So even though you don't have that in you, you could have a leader like yourself to lead the pack, and but we definitely need followers. So that's where the support of the people come in. And I always just said, I saw somebody post. I don't remember who it was, but somebody post a comment that our adults need to stop giving up on the children, and that is 100% right.
Yeah,
Right.
Renee,
Yeah, stop
Renee
giving
Hansen.
up on the kids.
Yeah, Renee
Have
Hansen.
to
She
stop.
posted that.
Can't give up on the kids because
Well, let me tell
we've
you,
been
Renee Hansen goes all out for the youth. Them, she has so much compassion and so much care, and she's one of them that you could count in this fight because she really truly cared, and she's one of us, and I like to consider myself one of you guys because we all are trying to preserve good and elevate to great, because whatever is left of what we have here, we can't let it get worse. We cannot let it get worse.
That's true.
You know?
So can I lighten it up a little bit because now it's playoff time. So I would really like to hear commissioner's picks. I would like to hear top five. I like to hear his top five Virgin Islanders because people asking me these things on the low. We ask the top five.
before you ask me them question. I got one question. Did you know a player from Lorraine, called Iceman?
Listen, that's the name I was looking for. Iceman. Oh my God. Listen, and Iceman, I'm so happy you bring that up because let me tell you, he wouldn't have forgiven me for mentioning the epic battles that me and Iceman had and just scoring after scoring after. This guy is amazing. And you know him personally, and you know the ice was nice.
Ice.
The ice
See,
was
you know
nice.
Ice.
Yeah. Sure.
He was something else, man.
Watch out. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, back to my good friend Zorro. When Zorro had the opportunity, I think he went to one of the top schools in America, high schools. And I mean, Zorro could have been anything he wanted to be. You guys know that. Zorro would have been making magic in the NBA. For sure. Because, I mean, he could play at any level and he could play with any team. And so that's one of the players I admire. One of the players, because I admire a lot, but he was one of the players I admire most in the Virgin Islands. But you see the Mighty Ice, this guy was amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for bringing him up.
Even for half court, I used to watch him growing up in San Farm. He was a monster.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Tegan, I don't know if you know this, but Ice is a legend in Dong Island, you know. Like any Dong Island.
Well, I know he's the greatest legend in Tola, because when I go Tola, that's all they talk about.
Right, because he used to play with Tola national team and travel to the Netherlands them and play with them, man, and he's a legend in Dong Island. Trust that.
It's not much you can tell me, but I have so much respect for him. He actually watched me grow and be who I be. And now the fact that I old and I can help coach some of his sons, it just shows how the world works. Because when I was watching him and adoring him as a young player, now he's watching me and now I'm helping coaching some of his kids. It's like, that's how the world works. You know what I'm saying? He showed me that love and I showed it back. So, I mean, he's a legend. Trust me. And all his sons, them are legend. And all them could play. Everyone.
Top five.
The top
Okay,
five.
so top five. NBA. Top five, what? NBA?
Let's do top five Virgin Islander first. Basketball. And then let me do baseball too, since you're two sport. And then you can give me NBA.
Top five basketball players that
To
I
you.
believe
That you love. The top five players that you love. Period.
Okay. So number one is the mighty Zorro. That's definitely number one. And I know I'm gonna forget people. But
Don't work with them, like you said. You telling your story. When they come on, they tell it is we wanted you.
Zorro was number one. Number two, and a lot of people don't know this guy, but I respect this guy so much. Rudy Valentine.
I don't know him. Could you tell what was so special about him?
Rudy Valentine was a magician. Rudy Valentine was a magician with a basketball. He can take it from you, and he did some things with this ball that I have never seen done before. I totally admire the way he played and the way he handled himself in these games. And I'm going grassroots. This guy grew up with us in Grove. He grew up in Mutual Home. But anybody who know Rudy Valentine know that that guy was outstanding, you know. Another guy that really fascinated me was the guy, Legend. He can jump off the planet. This guy was an amazing, amazing guy. So I had the opportunity to see him play, to play against him. And I can only speak to players that I saw play. And so I will leave out a lot of people that they would say, well, bro, crazy or what? But bro didn't play with these Tegan like yourself. I have watched your clips, and I tell you, you are one of the fastest people I see with a basketball. Fastest. And so, but I didn't have an opportunity to see you play locally, but I watch so much of your tape, and man, I tell you, I have never seen, and I'm sincere in this, I have never seen a player who can go as swiftly with a basketball like you. I mean, just amazing, incredible. But because you didn't play around my time, I'm only talking about players who I actually played against. Another player that I believe should be in, of course, Ron Charles should have been in the NBA. You guys never, I mean, you know him, but you never had a chance to see him play.
Yeah.
He was a superstar. And, you know, he played with Magic Johnson. He held Larry Bird defensively when Michigan State beat Indiana. I think Larry Bird played for. But I grew up watching Ronald Charles play. I had a chance to play with him. I learned a lot from him, and I spoke a lot with him. So Ron Charles would be one of my top 5.
I can tell you a little story about Ronald just real quick. You know, when I
Yes.
was in college, Jacksonville University, every time I went to play any team in Georgia, Rancho used to come and watch all my games then. It
Wow.
was crazy.
Nice.
All my games then. He used to come and watch. But go ahead. Pang them said it like sex. They just got me laughing too much, man. I need to stop.
I mean,
Right.
I would have, I mean, most of my picks really and truly live and grow with me as legendary players, but I think it'll be biased for me to pick them, and I'm not going to pick them because I could name off about 8 guys out of Grove Place.
I,
that
I was just about to say that. You could name off all Grove players if you want to.
Yeah, because I mean, I could go to all the Grove players that I grew up with and played with, and feel comfortable doing that because I know these players can play anywhere in the world, and I know that they're great, great, great players. There was a guy named Ernest Billings. I don't know if any of you guys know Ernest Billings. He played on the national. He played on the national team. I heard that he's somewhere in Japan now as a teacher. But this guy was one of the most tremendous under the basket players, and he was about 6'6", 6'7", and this guy was all out great. I remember in Cuba when there was some commotion under the rim, and when it was the smokes was clear, was Ernest Billings fighting against the 7-footer from Cuba, and he's a legend in basketball, and Ernest and him had tackled each other. But this guy Billings was great everywhere, and I think he would be one of the guys that got my vote because his game elevated higher than most in the territory. A lot of people didn't get to know him, but he is definitely one of my top picks.
NBA, all-time top 5.
Oh God, that's easy.
Let's say LeBron
James,
in the top 5 since you done took a shot at LeBron.
LeBron James, of course, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan. I'm going to Larry Bird. I'm sorry. Larry Bird gave me nightmares. I can't put him on my team. That guy gave me too much nightmares. I just can't. I have to go with KD. And who would be my last pick? I think I'll have to say you know, a lot of people would disagree with me, but he was one of my favorite players, and that's George the Iceman Gervin from San Antonio.
Nice.
I used to love to see. I mean, they're not the world pick, but those are my 5 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your favorite.
right.
That's all good.
That's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I just one correction. I get text from Zoro because I got so now like Pang. Billings actually lived in Argentina, not Japan.
Oh, he live in Argentina. Okay, but Zorro know Billings because I think Zorro was on the national team with Billings. Billings played on several national teams, but I think Zorro was on one of the teams with Billings as well. So that's my top picks.
I love it. So give me your NBA now preview.
No, wait. You disrespecting the
You forget
baseball, man.
baseball. Yeah,
Come on,
come
man.
this is
Hey,
Baseball,
man.
local or major
Sorry,
league? Talk him up.
we're gonna start local first.
Yeah, local.
Okay. Drake Cummins, of course, is number one. Not when I said number one, he was one of the top players to me here. I mean, we could talk about again the Harris Clark, the Elmer Plaskett, and all these guys. I didn't see them play, so I would not be picking those guys. But a guy that I think should be listed there, and he was one of our, ailments when you talk about problems. Ellington Maynard. Ellington Maynard will be one of my top picks. Of course, Raphael Kenny Jackson is one of my top picks. Leroy Dido Simmons is one of my top picks. And I mean, I can't even have top picks because I have Terry Byron, I have Mark Franklin, I have Justino Navarro. Man, it's just so much and too much. And Real Saki, oh man, Thomas Johnson. You're talking about guys who are just unstoppable, Offensively, these guys was unstoppable. And we could go on and on, Norbert Pickering. So I would do myself a disjustice. Mumba Rivera, you were a young phenom that I just admire, and you transitioned to be one of our great talent out there. I would have to put you in as one of my top picks because you had all the tools, and your talent was, I don't know to the extent that you went, but a super talent, and you could pitch. If you wanted to sign as a pitcher, you'd probably be a major leaguer still because pitching is a commodity, and once you could throw the ball 94, 95 miles an hour like you could have, and your ability to, just break a ball that could make a man undress himself. I remember them wicked curveball that you threw.
That's true. Yeah,
it was amazing. Geronimo Newton, that's a man that I have to mention. Yeah. Geronimo Newton was he was as amazing as they come as a pitcher, and so I just got about top 10. I could get a top 100 because they're that good and they're that close. So I can't bring it down to no top 5. Sorry. Too much good talent and too much great people I played with, and I had a chance to digest it, because I'm sure I'm missing people, but that's what I have for now.
Awesome.
You major league.
Major league now.
Okay, so major leagues, the great Barry Bonds. To me, he is the outstanding hitting machine in all of Major League Baseball. He would be one of my top players. Of course, the young brother there with Boston. Boston traded him to somebody. He plays right field for Dodgers.
Oh, Mookie Betts.
Mookie, yeah, he would be a top player of mine. Tony Gwynn, outstanding hitter. He would be a top player of mine. These are people that I got to see. From, I think, Derek Jeter. I am a Yankee fan. Derek Jeter would be one of the top players that I would select. and a guy they call him the Hawk. I used to love to see him play. Andre Dawson, play with the Cubs. He played with Montreal Experts. He was somebody that I truly like. I can't go back to the Willie Mays and the Hank Aaron and them guys because, again, I'm just talking current for me.
Yeah. Rudolph Simmons made a comment. He said, ask you why they took advantage of him when he pitched against you.
Nobody could take advantage of Rudolph Simmons. Rudolph Simmons was one of the baddest pitchers that we faced. You know Rudolph Simmons.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody could take advantage of Rudolph Simmons.
Yeah,
Rudolph Simmons was he was a great infielder. He played third base, but that guy can pitch. Let me tell you, Rudolph Simmons and Makil Rajas. I saw them in a tournament at Pali Jersey Stadium, and that's when I first saw Rudolph Simmons. And I thought he was better than Makil as a pitcher back then. And the two of them was a 1-2 punch that dominated whoever they played in Frederiksted. So Rudolph, stop it. Nobody take advantage of you as a pitcher.
Yeah, big out to Rudolph, man. Great, amazing baseball pitcher, man. Amazing.
Man, he was
amazing.
He was elite.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that he had an injury to his arm, because after a while Rudolph didn't really like to pitch. And I believe it was because he had a little ailment. But if this guy had liked to pitch, he would have been unstoppable and hittable. He is bad. And he played with me as well for a few years. He played infield for me, and he pitched a little bit for us. We used him at first base, second base, third base. But Rudolph was a special talent.
Any more questions, Mama?
Yeah, we got Zura saying, son, that you were better in basketball than baseball.
Only when I played against him.
That's fine.
It sounds that we might have to get you at Zoro Anderson.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, let me tell you, I admire this youth man. When I was in teaching at Arthur Richards, this guy was so amazing. And when he went away and he did his time in the States and he came back to play in the Man League, I mean, it was on, and we have mutual respect for each other, But I mean, you had to stop Zoro, you had to stop Bro. It was either one. And he played against me when I was, of course, a lot older than he was. So we never really, even though we never really had a chance to play when I was in my peak, when he was in his peak, I still take bragging rights of what I did to him. What I did to him was nothing compared to what he did to our team. But yeah, man, Zoro is my favorite player. I must say, he is my favorite player, and I tell you, he is a legend. I mean, Zoro, in my opinion, is like the best player in my time that I saw that the Virgin Islands ever had. I mean, we know Tim Duncan was here. Tim Duncan flourished when he went to college in the States, but there was no better than Zoro. None better than Zoro. None. Absolutely none. That's an amazing talent. And everybody have a chance to see him. And his name still resonates as the great Zoro.
He's like Michael Jordan. That man transitioning generation.
Of course. I mean, nobody in my rim that means shaking no more. I can't even, knock down a bicycle rim. But Zoro is a legend. And I mean, I wish we could do some great things for him. And when I establish this Hall of Fame that I'm part of, Zorro must be in that Hall of Fame as
Guaranteed.
the best talent here in the Virgin Islands.
First ballot.
That's
Without
right.
a doubt.
Yeah, man.
He got my vote. He got my vote. You
Yeah,
know,
he got everybody vote, man.
and that
he's
guy
like-
was.
ballot.
he's
First
the
ballot.
GOAT, man. Big up to Zorro, man. Big up to Zorro.
I'm just happy he was still athletic that I could have get to see the 2-ball dump because I actually saw he did the 2-ball dump. That's when I know this man are crazy. Yeah, 2 balls.
Yeah, he did it to bad dunk. But you know, the thing about Zorro and me when we were dunking, and Zorro was like Michael Jordan. I must give him that. I was like Dominique Wilkins. Everything I did was power. And so I think, and like Zorro said, man, how you win this thing? I said, man, Zorro, you needed to record it and look at it again because I saw it. It's still ringing in my eyes and my head and my ear. I said, but I think you close your eyes every time I dunk because that thing was so furious and
Man, I wish I could see
ferocious.
that, man.
I
Fam,
didn't
you
think
see-
he.
you hear that dunk? Double cradle.
Oh my God!
That's before I came on.
Yes,
That's
I tell you, I
insane.
actually, I had a dunk that I used to call it the noise. I mean, I would come and I just flip the
Noise.
ball under my hand, just flip it, because when I catch that thing, I mean the amount of shake and break. Let me tell you, when I dunk in Florida Memorial, I'm telling you, I actually named it. I had to name the dunk. You know, no, because I see about 3, 4, 5 girls tearing going out the gym, and I tell them the show just start. Why you guys? Because this guy Robert Reed used to come and show off, and I didn't try to embarrass him. I didn't try to insult him. It was game. But let me tell you something. When I see them girls run, I know that something great had just happened. I was hanging on a rim pointing. I did.
Man, I can only imagine that feeling.
That's classic, man. That's classic.
It was fun.
That's
It was
crazy,
fun.
man.
The
Yeah,
guy
man.
never talked to me. He said he ain't coming back with no team because I'm cocky. But as I tell you, if it's true,
Yes.
it's not bragging.
Not
bragging.
bragging.
Right. Yeah, you just talking facts.
That's
I
fact.
think
True that,
yeah. I think what really happened to him is that he couldn't hear for days. It was loud. It was rude.
Man. Bro, you be talking that talk.
I got frightened. You know, I'm like, damn, what just happened? People think I hold on to the rim to show off, but I actually didn't want to come to the ground because I think that shit was going to fall apart. That shit was loud. You know?
Wow.
But we had fun. But Zorro is definitely number one.
So let me jump in real quickly because we're winding down in time.
Right.
Your NBA preview, your picks, who you got, who you think about the players so far.
Okay, so let me just say this. I have won championship with 2 different teams, right? Not including Michael Jordan because I used to be my favorite player. But I am a LeBron James fan. I have no team in the NBA.
Mhm.
I am a LeBron James fan. Wherever he goes, I goes. And I had a good buddy. We used to feud because he was a Laker fan. And he used to cuss me about LeBron all the time. When LeBron went to the Lakers, I said, yo, you want to switch teams? Because the man you hate the most is an Lakers, and the man I love the most is an Lakers. So why don't you find the next team? Because I come into the Lakers. So I'm saying that it's Lakers all the way.
What's so captivated about LeBron game you like? Because the first thing you came on with your game, you says everybody know that I can take the last shot. Whereas that's a big contrast with LeBron, and everybody know he probably want to pass the last shot. So
Yeah.
what about the game you like?
Okay, so I'm a Michael Jordan fan, right? But there was a difference between the two. What I like about LeBron is, again, he had that type of mentality that I felt I grew up with. He never gets tired. He's a power player. He moves fast. He is athletic. He jumps high. He is amazing, right? And yes, I do have a problem with him not taking the last shot because Michael Jordan is going to take the last shot. Okay? And so I had that little issue with him, but guess what? I forgive him for it. I forgive him for it because he can't be like me and Mike. You know, everybody want to be like me and Mike. We're going to take the last shot.
Yeah, man. Mumba think he has lost a step, but watching the first game, he looked pretty damn good to me.
What game you watching? What game you watching?
He almost get a triple double and he hardly shoot.
Yeah. And I don't know why he come up with this new thing where he just, again, win the assist title, just a next, he added a next piece to his already flamboyant career. But I don't want him passing the ball. I want him shooting the ball. But
Right.
the Lakers is doing good. So let's see. I mean, if you Tegan used one of the only men that could pass all day and then shoot and hit 10 shots in a row. But LeBron James need to stay shooting the basketball because then when the game come on the line, what he gonna do?
Yeah, he needs that rhythm, and he don't like the free throw line, so he definitely need to shoot more.
Yeah, because he's missing more and more free throws. So he gotta score better now. He trying to be a complete player.
Danger mode,
Team
no, that's a very dangerous game. I'm sorry for the Lakers
Team
fans.
can't hit a shot in the ocean.
Well, Mr. Pope is still looking for he. Me and he they 1 point, 1 steal, 1 rebound. That's crazy.
Hey, well, Mr.
Yeah,
Bro, I
according to-
got. Go ahead, Pan. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, according to Charles Barkley, he got triple single. Hey,
Triple single.
Oh
Charles
man,
Barkley done killed Draymond. He done killed Draymond Green with that Mr. Triple single.
Single. I did
Yeah,
a
yeah,
point on a t-shirt.
he stayed bad.
Point on a
They got
t-shirt
to
did I say.
And I didn't think Portland played that well either. So I mean,
They didn't play good.
Game 2 is very dangerous. Though. Watch out.
Well, I got Blazers over Lakers. I said it last episode. I'm gonna say it again. The Blazers over Lakers. Jump on the bus now. We don't come again.
Game 2.
That can't
I think the
happen.
wrong thing Lakers do is let Blazers get a little confidence. They were supposed to win game 1 if they really want to win this series. I think the wrong thing they let do is Blazers win game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but like we talked about with the last show when we were still on, Blazers is not your typical 8 seed though. Remember that man that went to the NBA Finals. So in terms of confidence, that's a team that will come in super confident. They ain't gonna be coming in like we just made the playoffs. So if it was a matchup that Lakers probably didn't want to see in the first round, that would be it.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a confident team. Period. You're gonna have to beat that team. You'll have to beat them anyway if you meet them second round, finals. But probably you didn't want one that tough out to the gate if it's 1-8. You know what I'm saying? That's
that's true.
Because you gotta look at longevity too. You know? Remember, if you play in all these games, them games adding up. You know? And if they end up playing like a 6 or 7 game series, when you reach final, you ain't got no legs. Always at least we know how that feel.
Yeah.
So if you can get a couple sweeps in here and there, like how Toronto looking to get their first sweep, go home and rest, that helps.
And because the league didn't play all the games, conditioning is a hell of a thing too. And right now, some of them man still trying to find the footing.
You can see it.
Yeah.
That's I watch players and they're actually down on their knees blowing hard. You can see it.
Yeah.
They're not
Right.
It's a challenge.
100% into condition.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous.
Yep.
I still got a
Lakers
Lakers with
all the
you,
way.
Mr. Bro.
Lakers all the way.
Lakers with you.
But who you have on the East? Because Toronto looking like who did Bucks play today?
Yeah. No, tomorrow, right? Yeah,
No.
tomorrow. They play tomorrow.
They play tomorrow. Yeah,
They
they
played
lost
very
yesterday.
And Orlando didn't do that well.
Lost yesterday?
The scorer didn't even do that great.
The Bucks lost.
They lose? What?
Yeah, they lost yesterday.
They lose game 1.
Wow.
It's a very dangerous playoff because, like I told the guys, that crowd make a difference with average players, man. People don't understand this.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. When you don't have that crowd, everybody is a little bit more relaxed, man. You gotta watch out. You will get people out the woodwork, they gonna be getting totty, and you gonna be like, well, who this man be? It gonna happen.
That's true.
Those guys are too comfortable.
You see Terrence Ross went off yesterday?
Now they're just too comfortable. I mean, the stars could be the stars like LeBron and Dame and them guys. They could be the stars. But those and some guys that you don't even know, they could just be popping up and they could just be super confident. They ain't gonna have that fear like, oh shit, 30,000 fans, everybody screaming. I better give James Harden this ball, my son, guys. Me want to pick up. You know, they don't have that no more.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Bro, like,
all the way. I'm going to pass all the way. So we'll see about that.
One thing we like to do to close the show is like we want to give us some names of who you would like us to see interview.
Oh, to interview?
Yeah.
I would love to see Kenny Jackson get an opportunity. He has a lot to talk about. His experience is also extensive. That's one person that you guys will have fun with. Truly, has Renee Hansen ever been on your show?
No, I wrote her name down because I was gonna contact her. Wow.
You already have Commissioner White, so we definitely need to get assistant Renee Hansen.
Yeah, she would be a very, very good person to also have on the show. What I can do is text you some name, Mumba.
Yeah.
That I would think would do good and make a very great presentation, and at the same time provide good history and some level of education as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the show needs. People who really gonna bring that mixture, you know. Because more and more people are looking at your event, and I think that it's being talked about and people are amazed, and you want to keep the right flow. I mean, anybody should be able to come forth and participate, but you are promoting something special. And what's going to keep this flow going is the people who have information to provide, who have a history, and who at the same time could give you and the listening audience a piece of history, and also talk about what they can contribute, and you know, so you gotta get that mixture in there, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are the people I would recommend to make a difference, and then you guys select who you want, of course, because everybody deserves an opportunity if they're willing to come before you and the people of the Virgin Islands to present their story. But I know what your program need as well, so I want to make sure those people are given that opportunity also.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this platform is pretty much for the people, and we base it on the people that came before us. You know, we gotta pay respect, we gotta pay homage to them. You know, we don't really hear about the history. You know, a lot of people sacrifice their time, you know, contributed a lot, you know, help a lot of people out. And it's only right that we honor these people. You know, before we move on, you know, to the present and the future, we definitely gotta provide some history and some knowledge to the people. You know, so whoever is willing to come on, they're more than welcome to come on. You know, we always open to anybody coming on. We have a lot of people listed that we gonna get in contact with, but we definitely gonna reach out to everybody. And like you said, who's willing. Whoever is willing, we definitely gonna have them on.
A guy with great history is Real Saki. I call his name a lot because every Saturday I have the opportunity to sit down and have discussions with him. And I mean, this guy is an encyclopedia, and his level of intellectual capabilities is beyond so much people. And I would love to give him an opportunity to articulate at every level. He trained so many people and developed them as young people. He himself was a great two-sport athlete. Real played basketball very well, and everybody who knows him knows his history in baseball. But more importantly, he is a educator of the sport of baseball. He can teach. You understand? And I would like to hear his story as well. He's a good guy to present. People like Justino Navarro, um, these guys from the Latin community, the locals.
Yeah.
But I mean, Juice have been. We went with the national team in Venezuela. I think he met his wife over there. We carried him to play, and he brought back a wife.
I remember you said.
Nice.
We
went Venezuela.
Yeah, we were in Venezuela, so
A lot of people go there.
I'm not mad at him at all. I mean, but I ain't gonna say nothing because
don't get yourself in trouble.
I'll send you the numbers, but Real is one of the people you need to have because he got a lot to do.
Man, awesome show, man. Good job.
Yeah.
Pick up to Sports Park and Rec in the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to thank you guys for this opportunity. I mean, again, it's an amazing. I had fun, and when you're having fun, you're having success. And this to me was fun, and you guys made this gonna last a long time for me. And I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. And hey, hopefully it was fun to your listening audience. They got to know who I was back in the days in basketball. And it was so much fun to share that story because those days are long gone, but they were fun. They were fun while they lasted. And
the beauty is now and we have, your history now will be preserved. So a lot of people now can go back and watch this. We can show it and we can hear it from your mouth. And that's the beauty about this platform. So, I mean, the pleasure is all yours, man, because it's all about you. I know you don't want to get all the credit, but you deserve it. I am even moved by some of the story you tell today. You drop a lot of dimes. You even talk about it doing Naked and Wild and Synchro, and nobody know about it.
This is what he get. This is what he said.
You gave us everything. You gave us humor. You gave us seriousness. You gave us a vision where you're trying to take the sport. You was the total package. And, now we're going through these trying times. They keep saying ain't nothing for the kids, ain't nothing for the kids. But I always say we always been doing things for the kids. The problem is the community ain't been supporting them in the way they should. And that's why they think nothing is being done. But a lot of things is being done. We just need a more of it, a more exposure, more outlet for them to express themselves. And you definitely doing that. And just keep doing what you're doing because I am extremely proud. I know my boys, them are too. So it's an honor.
Well, thank you guys, man. Have a blessed evening.
Stop harassing me, please.
I want a quick shout out to Azuro and Renice James. They're the one that kind of make this happen. With our Dennis Brown. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to everybody who always give me names. I know a lot of people give me some names. They haven't been on yet, and they will be on. So just to keep that in mind. But I appreciate everybody and everybody's support. Everybody, thanks for tuning in as well too. If you have any names as well, you could contact Tiga, you could contact Pan, you could contact myself, you could contact Dennis Brown, you could contact previous people who has been in the show, and they could contact me as well too. So we could share everybody's story and celebrate everybody that contributed to the island.
And man, thank you for taking your time out to talk to us tonight, Mr. Bro. This was wonderful.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Enjoy your night and stay safe. Hopefully the family stays safe during this COVID. Protect ourselves. Till next time, Mumbak. We out.
Take us out.
Man, to everybody that's tuning in, it's always a pleasure. There is no us without you. You make the cast roll with all your questions, your comments, your jokes, the reminders to the panelists, keeping us going. And everybody have a wonderful Wednesday evening, and we do it again Sunday. Bless.
Bless everybody. Bless.
Harry.